Corval, California champagne.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacramento's official home of the 49ers.
San Francisco.
Sacktown Sports 1140. It's time. It is that time. Time for Stiles and Watkins.
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140. Find us on YouTube at Sacktown Sports 1140.
It's time for Alan Stiles and Chris Watkins.
Oh, yes. What better way to get you through Wednesday than to have a crumbled up Alan Stiles and a crumbled up Chris Watkins? I was just telling Chris Verlade, who's still in here, cutting up this cake,
that crumble cake
for Crumble's birthday, that when Crumble Chris comes to town, we have some of the quickest shows ever because the sugar levels are just insane here. So we got a good one for you. We got sound from the A's walk-off. We know a lot of A's fans out here went to check out the game, and we'll continue to check out the last couple games in Oakland as they walk it off. Yesterday, we also have sound from Lawrence Butler of the A's on wearing Oakland, making sure they wear Oakland on their chest for the remainder of the homestand. It wasn't all pretty in Oakland, though, and as we make our way through this, I guess the society of, I want to go viral, I want to do this, I want to do that. Yes, there were. I'm not the type of guy. I'm not going to avoid the ugly and only talk about the pretty. Yes, there were Oakland fans taking seats from the Coliseum, and that would be funny and all if only John Fisher owned the Coliseum, which he does not. So all that they've done is kind of screwed over the fans that are going to be there today and for the rest of the homestand. So don't like to see that. I know emotions are very high, but people got to be better. People got to be better. And you know who also has to be better? The San Francisco 49ers, okay? There is an article out from one Grant Cohn, and you know that Grant Cohn is going to take it there. As Chris and I discuss, hey, should we talk about Kyle Shanahan and how could that seat warm up? An article comes out. If the Niners don't make the playoffs, could Kyle Shanahan be fired? Okay, so we will get into all of that at 10:12, 10:15, about 15 minutes. Also, Rob Schneider tickets, again, we have those for you, 1 p.m. They've been going like hotcakes, or should I say they've been going like crumble cakes.
Yeah.
So that will happen in a couple hours, 1 o'clock. You don't want to miss that, 916-339-1140. If you are on the app, want to switch on over to AM if you want a chance to win those tickets. Also, the Sac-12, Pac-12 situation that's going on. We're just going to provide some information, things that we've been hearing. Not really a conversation to be had yet. I think we've had the conversation as to whether or not we think Sacramento can, quote unquote, handle joining the Pac-12 or Sac State handle being in a power conference like that. And I think the answer is yes, right? So now we're going to provide just some information that we've been seeing all around social media and kind of just go from there. Don't you worry, okay? Raiders, there is something else, Chris, that I came across yesterday that I didn't even think about this, and I'm very worried, okay, when the Raiders face the Browns. Maybe somebody can guess what that is, but here's the hint. Here is the hint. Revenge game. Not going to tell you what it is, but a little bit later we'll talk about who's got a revenge game coming up, and you should be very worried about this person, this player, even though his quarterback is
a player.
Yeah, kind of terrible. Even though the quarterback is terrible, still worried about it. He actually had a good game last Sunday, so maybe I've said too much.
No, you haven't.
Chris Watkins, sorry, the crumble cookies are flowing. I had the Snickers one with a bunch of caramel on top. So I am on and popping right now. Chris Watkins, how you doing?
Good. I thought you were referring to Marvin Lewis, so I'm excited to hear who the player is. I don't think you revealed too much, and I haven't dug into the crumble yet, but I've already gotten requests. My sister already, like I said, on Friday, she's 7 months pregnant. She's coming over today to watch one of our favorite shows, The Challenge, and she's already requested that I save her some crumble cookies. So
that's right.
Got to make sure to lock down some of those. And I also saw yesterday, as I've been talking about, hey, King season's a week away. I saw yesterday we have preseason hockey going on now. So we are officially in the swing of things right now.
We really are. We really are. And the thing about preseason hockey, it can get a little confusing. I know this from my previous job. They also do the split squads. So don't get confused if you'll see
like
the
two
Sharks playing
teams.
here and the Sharks playing there.
Yeah.
They do the split squads the same way that baseball does the split squads, the spring training. Speaking of baseball, we have some sound top stories, top of the hour. The Padres, I know Whitey's going to walk in here with some pep in his step and a spring in his heart, or a song in his heart, because it's Whitey. Padres turn a triple play. Not only do they turn a triple play, they turn a triple play to clinch a playoff spot.
Crazy.
So we have that sound for you, top stories at top of the hour. We also have a good amount of basketball. Like Chris said, we are around the corner. And can I say that now,
yes,
Chris?
Officially.
Can I say around the corner?
Because it is around the corner. You turn the corner, and then it's there.
That's right. We are around the corner now from the NBA season. Obviously, we have Media Day next week, which we are very excited about. We have a lot planned, and Chris has been working extremely hard to get us well prepared for that situation. I got to pick up my end of the bargain, but we will have a lot for you next week. But as we discuss those things, Yahoo has come out with not just who the best first option is in the NBA, the best second option as well. We'll see where De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis, and DeMar DeRozan fall. Isn't it cool to mention all that? And you saw the pictures, Chris, with DeMar DeRozan, Sabonis, Vivek, everybody hanging out for the premiere of the Netflix show that's coming out. So that's great stuff as well. We have it around the NBA segment. Also, where do their future power rankings lead them? And you're probably not going to like this one. It's from ESPN, so not really too surprising. We have Nate behind the glass for us, as always, doing his thing. And yeah, Chris, I do want to get to this sound from the A's walk-off. Okay. It was very, very electric in the building. And it wasn't that crowded yet. I didn't know what to expect.
The lower deck was, but
yes,
it wasn't,
the lower deck was.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, Nate, let's get to that walk-off sound, and it was great stuff. Jacob Wilson is back, one of the young studs. Everybody's got a stud shortstop. It's crazy. And the A's, he was injured. He started out hot, got injured. He recently came back, and this is how he is making his mark in the last homestand in Oakland. What a way to do it. Here it is.
To Jacob Wilson. This one's going to get through. Zach Geloff coming home, and the Oakland A's have won the ball game. And another memory at the Coliseum on a 5-4 walk-off from the young Jacob Wilson.
Awesome.
Incredible.
Against the world champion Texas Rangers, of course, and the Texas Rangers, kind of having they had a down year, maybe some of that World Series hangover, but the A's, I was watching, there was a lot of good, and I know it's baseball, but hey, at least on Wednesdays when there's nothing else going on right now, at least you got baseball, or I guess that was a Tuesday, because you had the A's Rangers. Obviously I'm watching because it's the last homestand or the last couple games in Oakland. Then they gave us yesterday Yankees at Orioles. Aaron Judge hits a home run in that game. Orioles end up winning that game and end up clinching. I don't know if you saw what they did for Jackson Holiday, giving him the little baby bottles because he's so young while everybody else is popping champagne. Yeah, so the Orioles clinch. And then the later game was Dodgers-Padres, where the Padres turned that triple play. So even if you don't like baseball, there was some good stuff. And at least if you're watching the highlights, you can say, okay, that was a good day of baseball. But let's get to Lawrence Butler here. He was asked on NBC Sports Bay Area about their decision to wear Oakland on their chest for the last couple games in Oakland. And this is a guy who you're going to see in Sacramento, and he's been a stud for a long duration of the season. And, he's a young guy. He's exciting to watch. And, he's got a pretty good head on his shoulders. This is what he had to say.
You guys are wearing the Kelly green jerseys that say Oakland across the chest here, and I'm assuming that'll happen for the next couple of days. You don't need to tell us any more than we don't need to know, but was there a conversation among the players, like this is what we want to do, or did somebody say, hey, we're doing this, everybody cool? How did that happen?
Yeah, it really wasn't even too much of a conversation. We were all on board. Somebody said we're doing it. We all were like, great, we're doing it. I mean, it says Oakland on it. That's our only jersey that says Oakland on it. We want to pay the tribute to the fans and, just everything that's happened in the past with Oakland and, everything they've gone through. So, we thought we'd do a little special thing and, just wear the Oakland these last couple of games and this last two series, just so the fans know that, we hear them, we care about them, and, this means a lot to them.
Hey, man, it's been rough times for a lot of people surrounding this team, but I will always root for you, dude. You are awesome. And I appreciate your time here tonight.
No problem. Thank you, Brody and Stu.
That was one Lawrence Butler. Great stuff there. And Chris, as I'm listening to that, and obviously if anybody is given, the Oakland side of things, it's been me, because that's not where I'm from specifically, but I've lived in Oakland. I grew up, 30 minutes outside of Oakland in little old Concord. But one thing I'm thinking as Lawrence Butler is talking, and they're doing the right thing, right? Nobody can deny that. And they might not love the fact that they have to play in a minor league stadium. If you think about it, this is where they were trying to get out of a minor league stadium. And, you can market it however you want, but I'm talking about the players. But with that being said, you got to think that there's maybe a part of them that, and I know it's just an interim spot, but 3-4 years, who knows where you're going to be. Mm-hmm. There's got to be a part of them that even if they would rather play in a big league park, they're probably at least excited to not deal with this specific drama anymore.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be the complete opposite, right?
Yeah.
Like, they're going to be going from a fan base that's incredibly just heartbroken through what they're going through, and I'm sure that comes with a lot of emotions. I'm sure the lows are very, very low, and you have nights like last night where the highs are extremely high. But I think when they get here to Sacramento, it is going to be it's going to be a breath of fresh air for them, because I think it's going to be a lot of positivity. I think the city is obviously trying to put their best foot forward. They're going to be rooting on that team full force once they're actually boots on the ground here. I think the players are going to enjoy the lack of questions about it. Not that it doesn't need to be asked, but just in general, the overhang of it over the entire season, I think has to be tolling on all of those guys. I mean, it's definitely something that you just can't avoid. It's surrounding you every time. I saw a picture of Joey Estes has like a signage from the stadium. I think that it's just something that they're all thinking about the entire year and trying to do right by that team. I think it's going to be really nice to just kind of feel like, okay, we are just as normal as things get for the A's, I guess, these days. We're just going to be a normal baseball team that is playing in this stadium. And, there's still going to be drama, of course, surrounding it. But for the most part, for the players, I think it's going to be mostly, hey, let's just get back to baseball. And, we don't have to, they're going to be asked questions about how they like Sacramento, but it's not going to be, the tone is just going to be completely different.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be some legacy questions. How does this differ compared to Oakland? Do you miss
is
things
it better,
like that?
Worse?
Yes, but
things,
as somebody who is still waiting for the call himself, I mean, you got to think being in the major leagues, as much as you want to be in a big league stadium, you also want to be in a city where people want to come see you.
Yeah, for sure.
And there's just not as much, I want to come, but I don't like this guy. I mean, I do think that having the Oakland A's, or the Sacramento fan base of we just want to see some baseball. This is stuff that we never thought that we would see in our city. So we're going to enjoy it. How long it lasts, we don't know.
Right.
But I think for the first year, at the very least, that will be good for them to get to experience. And it's something that they haven't experienced. I mean, if you're Lawrence Butler, some of these guys who've been on the team the last 2-3 years, you have not, you have come up in this drama. Jacob Wilson, you've come up in this drama. So for them to get a break from the drama, because this is not real world, or the challenge, if you will. We don't need that reality show drama anymore. Coming up next, how bad could this get for the Niners, and how bad would it have to get for us to have questions about one Kyle Shanahan? Stiles and Watkins, Sac State Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
he was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real, and I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Time to check out Capital Casino, conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
Sacktown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
How bad would this need to get for the Niners for us to have a conversation about Kyle Shanahan? Real quick, Chris. Martin on the Sack Chat, as you mentioned the challenge, and if you've been listening to this show, you know that Chris and I both really like watching the challenge.
Love it. I would say love it.
Martin on the Sack Chat is, I guess, he's a coach at Darrell's gym. He knows Darrell.
No way.
Yes.
I've been meaning to get a workout at Darrell's gym. I know it's in Elk Grove. I think it's called Pound for
Okay,
Pound
so this
Fitness.
is a real deal.
Oh,
okay.
yeah, Darrell. Oh, yeah. If you follow him on Instagram, he's always posting around Sack. He was at Golden One the other day for SmackDown.
Martin said, my friend is actually on the challenge and OG on their Darrell.
Martin,
that's crazy.
Martin, I'll have my people reach out to your people.
That's right.
We can
Martin,
make something happen.
Get him on. We need him on the show.
We need to get Darrell on the show. That's an athlete. That definitely qualifies.
Yes.
Underneath
with
athlete
challenge champion.
Come on. Multiple time. Come on. Put some respect on his name.
That's right. I'll put some respect on his name.
3 times.
And are we not putting enough respect on Kyle Shanahan's name? Again, the Niners are 1-2. They are technically last in the division. It's still very early, only 3 games. They are going to face a lowly Patriots team next, and I don't know how much we believe in the Seahawks, but a lot of people are already pressing the panic button. Is something that everybody seems to like to do, and someone that likes to push all the buttons is one Grant Cohn. So Grant Cohn puts this out today. This is his newest piece on SI. Will the 49ers fire Kyle Shanahan if they miss the playoffs? Chris, here is a little blurb from the article.
That's spicy.
The 49ers are supposed to have the best roster in the NFL.
For sure.
Ever since they drafted Nick Bosa and Debo in 2019, they typically have won because they've had more talent than their opponents. Yeah. But they just lost the Super Bowl. They were favored to win, and Shanahan took most of the blame. His offense scored just 19 points in regulation and 22 points overall against the Chiefs. Plus, he didn't know the overtime rules for the postseason. Instead of taking responsibility for the loss, Shanahan fired defensive coordinator Steve Wilks and replaced him by promoting Nick Sorensen, who never had been a coordinator. Shanahan also hired Brandon Staley as the assistant head coach, even though he got fired by the Chargers last year and his defense was atrocious. Yeah. Through 3 games, the 49ers defense has given up 23 points per game. Last season, it gave up just 17.5 points per game. It seems like firing Wilks was a bad decision. I got to read this part. In addition, Shanahan pleaded with the front office to give Brandon Ayuk a 4-year extension worth $30 million. He was running up the stairs, Chris, per season, even though the team was in the process of trading him to the Steelers. Through 3 games, Ayuk has 2 drops, no touchdowns. He ranks 3rd on the team in receiving yards, and Brock Purdy's passer rating when targeting him is a mere 72.7. Meanwhile, Jawal Jennings has emerged as the best receiver on the team, which means they don't need a high-priced receiver anymore.
geez, when you put it like that.
I mean, it's pretty crazy when you put it like that. The last piece, Chris,
he lay it all out in front of you.
Shanahan gave McCaffrey a new contract that makes him the highest paid running back in the NFL and gives him guaranteed money this year and next year, even though he had an Achilles injury that could end his season and possibly his career.
Again, when you put it like that, I mean, for sure, it definitely does not sound great. And, I think that there's a lot of people, of course, TC more than anybody.
TC,
who's like, I've been telling y'all this.
TC co-wrote this.
And I mean, it is all factual. I just think, and, it's the point of the article is not to present two sides there, but the winning percentage is all, like we'd say as quarterback is a win a quarterback stat or not. I'll tell you what, a win is definitely a coaching stat for sure.
Yes.
And Kyle Shanahan has a ton of them. And so that's the part where it's like, yes, all of those things are definitely true, but you want to fire him essentially because it's the procedural stuff along the way that maybe leads to him not winning the big one, but there still is all of these wins. I guess it just comes to a point, and I guess the Niners are quickly approaching that point to where it's like, when does the consistency of winning not matter? Because there is things, it's not like he's doing everything perfect and just in these, one-off games, things aren't going his way. I guess Grant's point there is there's a lot of things that he is messing up on, and it's being essentially washed away because he is winning, and then you get the convenient excuse. So it's just, I guess, a different way of looking at the same set of facts.
Yeah, I think what doesn't make a lot of sense to me here is that I got to do Control F to see if he mentions it anywhere, but in that, I read majority of the article right there. There's no mention of John Lynch. And I will say, I know we've joked about what is it that John Lynch does. Okay. But for John Lynch to not be mentioned, he's definitely signing off on the Ayuk stuff.
I mean, because that's what John Lynch told us, right?
Exactly.
He did say, my job is to get people to sign the paper, right?
Exactly.
So at the very least, we know that is John Lynch's.
So I think that it gets tough because we know Shanahan, this is where we know Shanahan has a lot of power. We don't necessarily know where the power stops and ends because I can't look at the McCaffrey, the McCaffrey contract. I can't look at the Brandon Ayuk deal and only put that on Kyle Shanahan. The first part of the article, when you're mentioning not knowing the overtime rules and
Steve Wilkes
tricking off
all that.
Those situations, yes, that's Kyle Shanahan. But if you're talking about Kyle Shanahan being on the hot seat, then you got to talk about John Lynch being on the hot seat as well, or neither of them are, because that's really
it's a package deal.
That always has a package deal, and that's where we're at, Chris. Because if you miss the playoffs, I think that you would still be safe.
You get some grace.
You definitely get grace.
I would hope so.
Because everybody likes to use the Andy Reid model. If you look at the Andy Reid model and what happened in Philly, they made it to I think it was an NFC title game. Then after that, and I've read this so many times, I should know it off the top of my head. But I know I believe it was a wild card outing, and then it was either they missed the playoffs or they were under 500 or both. So there was at least two years, maybe even 3 years where it was early exit and then miss the playoffs twice.
So you pretty much nailed it. They lost in the conference title in 2008. They lost 2 straight years in the wild card in 09 and 10. They were 11-5, 10-6. Then the next season, he doesn't make the playoffs. They go 8-8. The following season, they go 4-12. Obviously, don't make the playoffs. He gets fired after that. Chip Kelly comes in.
So he didn't win one, but neither has Shanahan. So it's not the grace factor. It's there.
It took he went 4-12 for him to get fired. Like he goes 8-8. I think that's the grace season, and then 4-12. Andy Reid goes, and then they are like, look, you're 2 years removed from any sort of success. When you were having success, it wasn't the kind of success that we necessarily wanted. And then you underperformed when you had good records. I think what the problem is, Chris, Shanahan keeps getting to the Super Bowl and resetting everything. Every time he gets to the Super Bowl, he buys himself 2 to 4 more years. So that's where I think everybody's at with this. And it was 9 years actually after they went to the Super Bowl that he was fired.
Look what the Eagles did to Doug Peterson though too. He won a Super Bowl with them with Nick Foles, their backup.
Yeah, that was weird.
And then they iced him 2 seasons later.
He won the Super Bowl. They lost in the divisional round, lost in the wild card, and then they went 4-11-1 and then fired Peterson. Right, so it's really a tragic season that seems to get you no grace at all.
If you continue to make the playoffs,
again, Andy Reid goes 8-8 after losing the wild card 2 straight years. He keeps his job, then goes 4-12. That's the straw that broke the camel's back. Doug Peterson makes the playoffs 2 years after winning the Super Bowl, but goes 4-11, then gets fired. So it takes, again, the wheels falling off for you to officially move on.
Yeah, but again, and we know Grant likes to, we had Grant on the show, and we like Grant.
We love Grant. Yeah,
but
we love the
he likes to
perspective.
He likes to lay things out in a certain way. These guys just got extended, right? Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch just last season.
Yeah.
So there's just no way. Yeah. But that's why he said specifically if they miss the playoffs, because all they got to do is make a wild card, keep their head above water.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why it doesn't matter if they miss the playoffs, because there is a specific Shanahan cycle. And I'll tell you where we're at in the Shanahan cycle when we return. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Subscribe to Sacktown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sacktown Sports.
Model Year End pricing is back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
During the Model Year End event, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make lower payments. It's no wonder why Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check out our entire inventory online at folsomlakehonda.com.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at folsomlakehonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Thunder, feel the thunder. It ignites something inside of you.
Lightning and the thunder.
Sets alight an elevated state of being. Days are pure exhilaration. And the nights, they're simply electric. See it, hear it, feel it.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
I would end the day with sore feet, sore legs. The drugstore inserts that I was purchasing were really not very useful at all. I walked into the Good Feet store and the guy kind of grinned at me and said, I hear that a lot. I was living with chronic pain before going to the Good Feet store. Now I don't really have that problem. I'm able to do the things that I expect to be able to do, even at my advanced stage. I feel pretty good about what's going on.
Come to the Good Feet store now for a free fitting and test walk.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system and you were a bit surprised at how much it cost? Or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sacktown Sports.
Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. as we discuss Kyle Shanahan. After we discuss Kyle Shanahan, we have a longer leash conversation between two other members of the 49ers, one player, one coach. We will tell you who that is. But first, Chris, I want to talk about the Kyle Shanahan cycle. And, I just cooked this up. Maybe I'm missing some pieces, but this is essentially the Shanahan cycle to me. It's high expectations, really close to getting to those expectations, falling short of those expectations, injury-riddled season, rinse and repeat. Right now in the cycle, we're at what's looking like injury-riddled season. So if they miss the playoffs, doesn't really matter because, they missed McCaffrey, they missed this, they missed that. So even different to Andy Reid, his bad seasons, there's an excuse. Somebody wasn't out there. CMC was in Germany eating sauerkraut. You have Deebo Samuel. It's a couple weeks. We'll see when he gets back. George Kittle. No clue what's going on with George Kittle. So now he gets another mulligan, and it doesn't count against his record. I mean, it does technically, but in the eyes of Jed York, whoever it is, hey, when we're healthy, we're a top team in the league. If you ask Deebo, we're the best. I'm still waiting for the next Deebo podcast.
Having your boy on too. I don't know if it's
who?
Xavier Leggett.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, to South Carolina.
I haven't seen the clips
yet.
I haven't
seen the clips yet.
I didn't want to say anything to you guys because I didn't want to play it on
well,
the
I
show.
can't wait to get there. So to me, Chris, Shanahan, and he's built this. Don't get me wrong. That's why he gets brought up in the Christian McCaffrey contract conversations in Ayuk because he's not just a coach, right? There's some combination of him and John Lynch. But I don't know what to do with this cycle because you're not winning. And I'm not saying to fire Shanahan, but you're not winning the big one. And then here comes an injury-riddled season, which isn't really that surprising. We've seen the numbers from teams that lose the Super Bowl because it's really hard to get back. You have an injury-riddled season, so then you get an excuse because, he didn't have his guys, and then he gets his guys back, and then everybody thinks he's going to make it. He gets close. The next season, they're even better, but they still don't make it, and then injury-riddled season. It's just the same thing, and it's a very good – look, to me, you see how the Niner fans travel. Okay, they go everywhere. It is a very lucrative cycle if you are Jed York. But at some point, somebody is going to have to say, this just isn't good enough, right? Or it is, and you just figure he's going to get one eventually, and you just hope that you're eventually right.
Yeah, I mean, I think personally, I don't think this is how a lot of Niner fans feel, and I think I can say this from the outside in, but when you're inside it, you feel a lot different. I feel more comfortable in the second situation. Like, I feel more comfortable just saying, I know this guy's a good coach.
Yeah.
It's kind of like in a much better way, this situation. It's kind of like the Trevor Lawrence situation we were talking about yesterday, where it's, if you let Kyle Shanahan out on the open market, he's not going to last on the open market at all. And so would you rather have him, but would you rather, look where Andy Reid's at now. Like, would you rather have him go succeed somewhere else and know, okay, we knew he was a good coach. We were just either impatient or felt like destiny was against us or whatever reason, whereas we could have just waited and maybe, down the line, if we give the problem is too, not to get off my lawn guy, but with the coaching cycles nowadays, like, it is weird to have a coach for 15, 20 years, right? Like, the Joe Gibbs of the world don't exist anymore. The Bill Parcells of the world don't exist anymore. Tomlin's the example, and he's probably been in that job 10, 15 years. And I think, again, that's the anomaly. I think and you know what? Tomlin hasn't had success in a really long time, and the Steelers continually double down on him, and they have success, but it's probably not the success that they overall want. I just think you have a good coach. You have a great coach at that. I don't see why you should bail just because he hasn't won the Super Bowl when I know it's a tired take for Niners fans, but so many other fan bases would just absolutely die to have the consistency and the success that the Niners have. I think giving up on it just because you're impatient is going to lead you to more pain down the line.
From the 916, I'll take a Super Bowl loss in overtime every year. Why are people complaining about a Super Bowl appearance? Wow. I mean, try being a Dolphins fan. So you have a Dolphins fan from the 916. No, can we not act like Kyle Shanahan walks on water, though? Can we not do that, though?
Okay, that's fine, but he's still a great coach. Like I don't want to say he's Jesus, but he's, like, in terms of coaching, like, he is incredibly successful and more successful than what most, like, Sean McVay is equally as offensive genius as Kyle Shanahan and has not had the same level of success as one Kyle Shanahan. He won the Super Bowl. Great.
Did you see the picture with him putting his hand,
oh my God.
Putting his hand on Kyle Shanahan?
Good job. That's a bud. There's a Bud that is amazing.
And he was
Good
shorter,
job,
and
Bud.
he's shorter than Kyle Shanahan.
Crazy.
And he's still
just
him.
reaching. Yeah.
That
and
was
Kyle's
my
like
dream.
walking off. Yeah.
McVay
oh
might be
God.
my favorite coach now. You do something like
I
that.
See it. Come on. You try and act like you hate
I
the
know.
memory thing.
I
It's
actually
so
love
sick.
it.
He just remembers everyone's
We
height.
both have photographic memories.
Probably
so it's
refers
all
to
good.
people in like inches, not feet.
Yeah.
It's like, no. that guy-
Centimeters.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I just
I'm not
think,
saying,
you know,
and I'm not saying to get rid of him. I'm just saying it's really tough to figure out what to do with the Niners because I didn't like what Debo said about we've been the best team. You got the best team, you got the best coach, but you got nothing to show for it.
Correct.
So what are we supposed to do with that?
I mean, that's sports. Like, that's why it's not wrestling. Like, you can't just script it out and say, look, these guys have the best stuff, and it's gonna sometimes, most of the time, 75% of the time it works out that way. Best team, best players, best coach is going to win. But it doesn't happen every time. And unfortunately, I just think the Niners have came up short 3 times in the Super Bowl where they probably should have came up on top.
And whose fault is that?
I mean, is it singular? I mean, you can maybe blame this last one singularly on Kyle, but like, I don't think that that's Kyle's only fault. I don't think that's only Kyle's fault, I should say. And yeah, he might share the biggest blame pie of it all, but I don't know the Super Bowl mistake, not knowing the overtime rules. That is if you're going to say anything is a fireable offense, that is a fireable offense for not knowing those rules in that moment, in that situation. But that's taking that's living in black and white to me. Like, you can't, I don't know. I just feel like he hasn't made dire mistakes. It's not like the team is surviving in spite of him. It feels like he is still part of. Now, this season, it hasn't really felt like he has contributed much to helping this thing stay afloat, but we'll still see. I mean, he's got some time to kind of game plan around some things, and maybe we don't give him any credit for scheming Juwan Jennings open. It's all the credit goes to Juwan.
I'm just he sits there, and I think he's smug. I think he's
for
a smug
sure.
guy.
I'll be the first to tell you that. He loves himself. He can do no wrong.
And I think that the media, a lot of the media, they sit there, they ask questions. They only want to ask specific questions because when Kyle Shanahan, and it's not just Kyle Shanahan, this is humans in general. When Kyle Shanahan's winning, he is more likely to answer questions than when he is losing. Yeah. And then this turns into, okay, well, we don't want to ask him this stuff. And then 1 or 2 guys ask him questions that he may or may not like. And now all of a sudden these guys hate the team, blah, blah, blah. And by the way, when it goes, and maybe certain guys err too much on one side, reporters are not supposed to be fans.
No.
So when you follow, and this is not just for the Niner fans, this is for all fans. When you follow
Kings too, for
Kings
sure.
fans, everybody, Raider fans, everybody, Giants fans, everybody, okay? When you follow a team reporter, all right, they're trying to get the most out of a coach. They're not, you shouldn't know that this person grew up a Niners fan or that this person grew up a Kings fan based on how they report. They are supposed to report, and they have to ask the questions. So what I don't like is when people do come at certain reporters or whatever the case is because of what they ask, they're not fans, okay? Or maybe they are, but they're supposed to hide their fandom. We can't be in the media room cheering for the Kings. You're not supposed to be in the media. When we were in the Niners, not that there was much to cheer about anyway until the end of the game, but it's dead silent in there. Somebody accidentally clapped and everybody stared at them. So you're not following fans here. Okay, I know people. Oh, it's my dream when they post their social media. It's my dream. I finally get to cover the team I love. That's all fine and good, but when they're actually doing it, they can't act like that because that's unprofessional. It's unprofessional.
Yeah, 100%.
Because people, they sit there and
Are you saying that's Kyle's fault?
No, I'm just but I'm saying that. I'm saying that Kyle has created what feels like an environment where people don't want to question him.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
now there's
he calls Grant Cohn out by name.
and now there's
all
only
the
a couple
time.
people that question him, and now Grant looks like this guy hates
enemy
the team.
number 1, right? Yeah,
it's just like all Kyle is getting Chris Watkins Thursday night softball questions all day long, and you can't handle any tough questions when you won nothing. That's why when Grant Cohn was on these airways, he said that when I'm talking to Robert Saleh, not to compare the two because Robert Saleh hasn't had the same type of success, but he's saying Kyle is over there complaining about the one or two dudes who ask him questions that aren't softball. Meanwhile, people are looking for my address.
People are trying to fire Robert Saleh. He went 7-10 with Zach Wilson as his quarterback,
who can't start over Bo Nix. Give me a break. Coming up next, who deserves a longer leash? This player on the Niners or this coach? Stiles Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
The only place you'll find Kevin Herter is Sacktown Sports.
Herter's open, steps into three. He's got the triple.
Hey, Sacramento, it's Kevin Herter, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Progressive presents Renter's MVP's Most Valuable Possessions. Today's MVP, Tom Kelly's carbon fiber mountain bike. Because more than riding his carbon fiber mountain bike, Tom loves telling people about his carbon fiber mountain bike. Friends, family, even a local barista knows about his carbon fiber mountain bike. And that's why Tom's carbon fiber mountain bike, if you haven't heard about it, is today's MVP. Keep your most valuable possessions protected by bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Hey, I can't wait for golf this weekend, huh, buddy? Time flies. Love you, man. Oh, don't forget your knee brace again. We aren't in college anymore.
Moments together matter, so help protect yourself from RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV, and there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
If you're not looking for a brand new car, at Elk Grove Honda, we've acquired some of the best pre-owned cars we can find. We've kept only the best of our trades, and our buyer has found some of the finest pre-owned Hondas available in Northern California. You can see for yourself at elkgrovehonda.com. Whether you purchase a brand new Honda or a like-new pre-owned Honda, your car buying experience will be the same. We have the right Honda at the right price. You'll find us in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 and Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
She used to meet me on that side.
Khalid, live in concert. See him performing at the venue at Thunder Valley, Saturday, October 5th. Get tickets now at ThunderValleyResort.com. Don't miss the sensational Khalid for one night only at the venue at Thunder Valley, Saturday, October 5th. For more, visit KhalidOfficial.com.
Who's ready for some fun on Saturday? Country in the Park 2 takes over Heart Health Park at Cal Expo with Dierks Bentley, Harmony, plus line dancing and a mechanical bull, axe throwing, pop-up clothing stores, and food trucks. Tickets start as low as $52 at CITPfest.com. Grab your family and join us for Country in the Park 2 this Saturday at Heart Health Park. More at CITPfest.com.
Brought to you by A&A Concrete Supply, Folsom Hotel, and Corbell, California, Champaign.
What's going on? We're talking to Chad Hoblet, a Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Woodland. What's happening for Ram Power Days?
Well, 2024 is almost over, so we figured we'd get a head start with big savings on brand new 2025 Ram 1500s. Right now, you can save up to $15,000 off MSRP on the brand new and very nicely updated 2025 Ram 1500s, starting as low as $37,780.
I want to make sure I heard you right. You said 2025, as in next year's models, and you're already giving $15,000 off?
You heard that right. Plus, with all the upgrades Ram has made on the 1500s, this is the best Ram yet.
Test drive the best Ram truck yet at the Hoblet Ram Truck Center. See our whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection, nobody beats Hoblet, period. 15,000 total net savings after 10,500 factory rebates and 4,500 dealer discounts. Rebates include 3,000 in Hoblet Select inventory coupons and 2,000 Hoblet trade-in assistant coupons. Must have qualifying trade-in. At least 5 of this net savings. Coupons only available while supplies last. See dealer for details.
Sacktown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
I don't know if we want to get into this, guys. By the way, Rob Schneider tickets 1 p.m. They've been going real quick, just so you know. So get those fingers warmed up and ready. Somebody is trying to defend the Shanahan decision, and they're real in the weeds here. That just
the overtime decision.
Yeah, that's just what lets me know that it still hurts, and it's okay that it still hurts. Okay. Shanahan is from the 916. Shanahan is a top 5 coach in this league. A lot of people don't agree with the decision in overtime, but his reasoning was pretty sound. I think people seem to forget the situation and flow of the game and everything that led up to right before overtime. He wanted to give the defense a break. I'm not going to go on. But yeah, get a touchdown or a stop, and we did neither. It's just one guy, though. I mean, it's Mahomes. It's literally your kryptonite. So you need to see. I just think that the break thing, I understand, but clearly the break didn't help. The break didn't help, but I guess 916 is arguing the thought process. So I understand, but most people don't. And I just think it just when I'm trying to think, Chris, why in baseball does the home team get last at bats? So they know what they have purposes. To. Thank you. They can, exactly. Yeah, so they can walk it off.
I've never really given it much thought.
So they can walk it off. So they know what they have to do.
Right.
And the away team does not get a rebuttal.
Right.
Does not get an opportunity. You made yourself the away team.
Yes.
Think about that. You made yourself the away team.
I don't know why. Yeah, it didn't make any sense, especially like you said to Patrick Mahomes. Like you just don't.
Not to him.
If it's just sometimes, you just simplify it. Like, hey, Patrick Mahomes scores right here. The game is over. Do you want to give him the ball? Do you want to take that risk?
It's that simple.
I don't.
He's the old Lamar Jackson. I don't know the way Josh Allen's playing right now, but Josh Allen last season, any other guy, I think that I would be more on board. There's one dude. And that's why I thought everybody was worried about facing the Ravens in the Super Bowl. I think the Ravens, they had an opportunity to win. Their best opportunity was last season. But I also think that the Niners getting to see the Ravens already and how poorly they played, I think it would have boded well for the Niners. But as they say, Chris, I guess we'll never know. All right, Chris, here we go.
Okay.
Who deserves a longer leash? Nick Sorensen or Brandon Ayuk? I have some numbers for you.
Yeah.
From Nick Sorensen and the defensive side of things. Obviously, he's never been a coordinator before. And Nick Sorensen, this is from Tim Kawakami of the San Francisco Standard. The 49ers defense is currently ranked 30th in opponent yards per play, giving up 6.1. That is an official yikes. Last year, rightly considered a down year for them defensively, the 49ers were ranked 8th at 5.1 opponent yards per play. Now, as we've been all over Brandon Ayuk with the separation stuff, this is from Fantasy Points data. Top separation win, and I don't even like reading crap like this, but we've been talking so much about the separation stuff. Top separation win rates of the 2024 season. CeeDee Lamb at number 5, Jameson Williams at number 4, Mike Evans at number 3, Nico Collins at number 2, and Brandon Ayuk at number 1. So I just throw that out there because maybe he is starting to round into form, okay? So you have Nick Sorensen, you have Brandon Ayuk, 2 people that have definitely underperformed, and one guy who this is his first opportunity being a defensive coordinator, even though he has the help of Brandon Staley, and you have Brandon Ayuk, who we know what his situation wasn't at camp. Now he is, and has underperformed as well. So who deserves a longer leash, or should I say more grace?
I would say Sorensen does. I mean, just because he is new to this, and this was like the plan. Like, you couldn't realistically expect him to walk in day one when never having any experience and just expect him to be as good as, frankly. I mean, I know Niner fans didn't really enjoy him, but Steve Wilkes has been in the NFL for a very long time. D'Amico Ryans was in the NFL, was a player. Like, not saying Nick Sorensen hasn't been involved with the organization at all. He was I think a DB's coach last year. But it's a brand new spot. I think Brandon Ayuk, he was a receiver last year. He was their number one receiver last year. There's not really any excuses besides he missed training camp, and that was on his own doing. I definitely think Sorensen definitely deserves a lot more grace than Brandon Ayuk. There's really no excuse that isn't self-inflicted for Brandon Ayuk having the struggles that he's had so far. I do also want to make note, because I think it's very important, the separation stat that you mentioned. It's calculated by average separation score.
There you go. Oh.
Yeah. Brandon Ayuk led the league in ASS this week.
Just like the A's hat.
Don't know if you saw it.
I think it sold out and was removed, or one of the two.
Yes,
or both, but
it's sold out. It's sold out because I looked on Fanatics, and there is no mirrored A's hat. I think or reflective A's hat.
Yes,
I loved it. But I just thought that was important. But yeah, no, I mean, I would definitely very important. But I just think Sorensen, they brought in, and they also brought in Staley because they knew it was going to be a bit of a bumpy road. They knew that he would have to know what he doesn't know. And I think that, this was kind of, again, part of the plan. I don't think that they expected Sorensen to be his absolute best in year one. Definitely don't think they expected it to be this bad in year one so far, only 3 games in. But the plan, I believe, was to have Nick Sorensen be their defensive coordinator for at least 2-3 seasons. And you got to give him some time to kind of get up to speed. It's only been 3 games so far.
But you know what? That is what is funny to me, because you needed Brandon Ayuk because you got the Super Bowl window.
Yeah.
But then you hire Nick Sorensen knowing
2
that
timelines, baby.
Right. What is happening? You hire Nick Sorensen even though you don't know what he's going to be, or he's going to have to grow with the team. Yeah. But you needed Brandon Ayuk because you got to win now.
Right.
So you were okay with the bumpy from Nick Sorensen, maybe not this bumpy,
right,
but you weren't okay with the bumpy from Brandon Ayuk. I think the answer it's early, Chris, for both of them. But honestly, I got to go with Brandon Ayuk. I got to say that Brandon Ayuk, if you look at how he's, to me, it's hard to give Brandon Ayuk an official grade, and he's got to be better, right? But again, the lack of nobody's afraid of Ronnie Bell. Yeah. Okay, he won't play Jacob Cowing. Kyle Shanahan won't play Jacob Cowing, and Juwan Jennings is doing his thing. So to me, Juwan Jennings being open that much has to indicate that Brandon Ayuk is getting all the attention.
Yeah.
So when you do get Debo back, which I guess won't be this coming week, but next week, based on quote unquote a couple, I need to see Brandon Ayuk with the crew, or at least somebody else from the crew. Right. And to me, the Sorensen conversation, I'm just basing it off of Steve Wilkes. I guess that's what's interesting, Chris. Steve Wilkes, who had definitely, was way more experienced in the league. Did you just expect more? And I'm not saying you, but I'm saying the Niners org just expected more from Steve Wilkes, and they expect less of Nick Sorensen. I mean, at what point will you say, okay, let's get this thing going?
Yeah.
And you got basically one of the easiest situations to figure it out. You couldn't figure it out against the G League Rams.
Right.
Can you figure it out against Jacoby? If it's Jacoby Brissett,
right,
maybe they might get Andy Dalton if they put in Drake May and Drake May balls out. But you got Jacoby Brissett and the Patriots, Ramondre Stevenson. That's the only guy I can name for the Patriots skill position players. So you're getting opportunities here. It's not like, and I'll tell you this much, you better have it figured out before you get to that the Chiefs beginning of the gauntlet. Because to me, I get the grace thing for both of them, but you're the one who told us not you, but you're the one who told us that it's Brandon. We got to keep Brandon Ayuk. We got to go now. Brock Purdy is on his rookie deal, and you've just sold the season where you needed to have the most urgency. You waited to sign Brandon Ayuk. I know it was 2-3 weeks. You left it on the table. You waited to sign Brandon Ayuk. You went with a first-time coordinator all in Brock's final season of his contract. And I know this is a conversation about Brandon Ayuk and Nick Sorsen, but I find myself going back to Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch. I mean, I don't know how much they put themselves in position to overcome the Super Bowl loss based on how they acted this offseason.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, just the more I think about it, it's just, you're right. Sorensen does need grace, but you're not supposed to be in a position where you're allowed to give grace because you're supposed to be trying to win a Super Bowl now.
Well, and I think that's if I had to guess, that's why Brandon Staley is there, right? So maybe there should be a little bit more, and there already has been, but a little bit more attention on Brandon Staley because I would imagine he is there to try and smooth out the bumpy start that they all expected, right?
Well, put yourself in Brandon Staley's position.
Well, he's like, it's beneficial almost for him to see them fail.
Yeah, if he wants that position, because what are we supposed to do with the Brandon Staley situation where, hey, I don't want to step on anybody's
That's
toes.
more what it is. Yeah, I don't want to make it sound like I was saying it's good for Brandon Staley if the Niners defense sucks, but it's more so what you just laid out where maybe I don't. Yeah, I would like to say something, but
this goes back to Shanahan. Yeah. Have you had a conversation with those two dudes to say, hey, this is what Staley's going to handle? This because you're doing stuff that other teams just don't typically do.
No.
So again,
let me tell you, Brian Flores is not taking instruction from a single person.
No. So again, you love the drama, you love making things confusing, and you got it, Shanahan. Yep. You got what, Melrose Place. I mean, name the soap opera. That's what this is.
You know what could have made this an even better
Hospital?
soap opera? I think about this maybe once a week because I forget it all the time. If Bill Belichick was the D coordinator, this was the results, it just would have been great. It probably
would have been the results.
Wouldn't have been the results, but I just think in an alternate universe where the Niners are just not even necessarily struggling, but just there's any sort of conflict, figuring out is there division on either? It just would have been so great. It would have been so great.
I'll tell you what, Belichick
Greg
turned
Cohen
him
would
down.
have been in his bag.
Oh my goodness! Should Bill Belichick take over? Is he being held back?
Was this all a big plan to get Bill Belichick as the head coach?
Coming up next, we go to the hardwood as Yahoo ranks the best options in the league. First option, second option, third option. Where do the Kings fall, and do you agree? Stiles and Watkins, Sac State Pac-12.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
The handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10-5. Touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sacktown Sports.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. Subcontractorsunited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
It's Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room. And guess what? Primetime football is back. Capital Casino is giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game. As always, offering the best food, the best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. So check them out, Capital Casino, and always remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Mom, meet Sarah.
From first-time Nana moments.
Welcome to Flight 101.
To annual girls trip moments. Your can't-miss moments are worth protecting against RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV. And there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com.
So where should we go next?
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true. You wanted it close to town, with a picture window overlooking a yard. And you found it. Now, when you sit down to dinner, you've got front row seats to your neighbor's daily pickleball game. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Who's ready for some fun on Saturday? Country in the Park 2 takes over Heart Health Park at Cal Expo with Dirks Bentley, Harmony, Dasha, plus line dancing and a mechanical bull, axe throwing, pop-up clothing stores, and food trucks. Tickets start as low as $52 at CITPfest.com. Grab your family and join us for Country in the Park 2 this Saturday at Heart Health Park. More at CITPfest.com.
Brought to you by A&A Concrete Supply, Folsom Hotel, and Corbell, California, Champaign.
The feet have a really big impact on how the rest of the body moves. The knees, the hips, the lower back especially. If the foot isn't properly aligned, all of these joints are going to function incorrectly. That results in a lot of muscle tension and chronic pain. What I really like about the Good Feet system is that the right arch supports can put the foot in its proper alignment. So all the joints up the rest of the body will be aligned properly as well. And when the body's aligned, we can reduce the risk of injury and chronic pain.
Come to the Good Feet store now for a free fitting and test walk.
DC here, and if you've been thinking about a new car, you gotta see my friends at Folsom Lake Kia. You can always count on low payments and zero down deals with approved credit. Folsom Lake Kia, over 25 years, right here in Folsom.
Your local sports leader in the 916.
KHTK HD1 Sacramento. KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, Sacktown Sports 1140.
Sacktown Sports.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
$1 p.m. Rob Schneider tickets. Hard Rock Live. That is at 1 p.m. Oh, yeah. And if you can guess the level here, I just had another bite of a crumble cookie. So yeah, we're going in.
On 30.
We're going in right now. And the Yahoo Sports team has gone in on the best first option, second option, and third option. Chris, going to throw over to you to kind of get this started. I'm curious what they went with and how I'm going to feel, because I feel like I'm either going to feel like the Kings were very respected or terribly disrespected.
Yeah, so this is from yahoo.com, ranking the best first, second, and third options all in the NBA. They started off, of course, with the first, and hold on just a second. As it's Sacramento Kings, from their perspective, again, of course, as you can imagine, it's also, there is some confusion here, because obviously with the Kings, I even think there's going to be some debate as to who exactly is there. A first option, probably not much question, but with their second option, is it the right second option, and things like that. Let's go over to the Yahoo article and get these top 5 that they have listed out, and then we can kind of plow through the rest as well. Number 1, they have Nikola Jokic as the best first option, Doncic as the second, Giannis as the third, Jason Tatum fourth, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander fifth. No real surprises there. They do have Victor Wembanyama as the 7th best first option in the NBA, which I think is definitely interesting and probably a little bit forecasting. Another interesting one, they have Jalen Brunson at number 11. They have LeBron James all the way at number 12. I would imagine that's the lowest LeBron has ever been in his career so far. John Morant is 13. And let's see here. Tyrese Halliburton is 18. And that brings us to, where does De'Aaron Fox land? De'Aaron Fox, as you can guess by not being mentioned yet, falls pretty low on this list. He falls at number 20, only in front of guys like Trae Young, Lauri Markkanen, Scotty Barnes, Cade Cunningham, LaMelo Ball, Zach LaVine, Anthony Simons, Jalen Green, Kyle Kuzma, and Cam Thomas are the 9 names behind De'Aaron. The ones immediately in front of him, Paolo Banchero, again, Tyrese Halliburton, Kawhi Leonard, and they have Zion Williamson at number 16. You know, again, I think it should definitely, it goes without saying almost, but I feel like De'Aaron, especially today, is definitely higher on this list. I feel like a lot of this is a bit of projecting out. I think De'Aaron Fox today is a better player than Tyrese Halliburton today. That could change 2-3 years down the line, but I just think as an individual, I think De'Aaron brings more to the table than Tyrese does. So I'd probably put him more so at 18 than 20, but I really don't have I feel like that's not a big enough quarrel to like really make a fuss about it. But I do think that it is a bit surprising to see him that low. I'm not necessarily saying it's wrong. It's just I don't think of De'Aaron as like this has him pretty much in the bottom third
of this is
options
crazy.
of being a first option.
This is ridiculous. I mean, I don't even think he should be 15 to me. He should be 15 to me.
I don't think that's I agree. I don't think that there's a guarantee that, Jimmy Butler is at 15. Donovan Mitchell's at 14. Again, I have an issue with John Moran at 13.
I have a big issue with, the problem is I'd probably put Donovan Mitchell at 13.
Yep.
I would put probably De'Aaron Fox at 14. To me, Jimmy Butler, it's the availability for me.
I'd probably put John at 15,
Yeah, I would put Donovan Mitchell at 13, De'Aaron Fox at 14, Donovan Mitchell or John Moran at 15. Yep. And then these guys, Jimmy Butler availability, Zion availability, Kawhi availability,
crazy.
Tyrese Halliburton, sometimes he don't even want to shoot. Paulo, to me, got disrespected as well, Paulo Banchero.
Especially if they're projecting. If you're going to have Wemby at 7.
Wemby at 7 is kind of nuts, man.
Nuts. I mean, I'm not even saying it's going to be wrong. I just think,
you can't even call a first option. Don't you have to make the playoffs? I mean,
if you're going to be an elite first option,
if you're going to be a top 7 first option,
you should be able to compete. Just you.
Maybe, I don't know. You're talking. What didn't we look up their?
It's too high.
Didn't we look up their projected wins for the Spurs was 39 and a half?
Yeah.
You can't be number 7 and have a projected wins at 39 and a half.
Agreed.
That's crazy.
I think it is crazy. I mean, there's a lot, and you know what? This really does speak to. There's a lot of basketball writers out there who think that Wemby is going to be in the MVP race this year. I have a tough time seeing it. I still think he's obviously one of the best players in the NBA. There's no doubt of that. I just think he has a lot, and maybe it's more me just sticking on. I think he still has a lot of things that he needs to get better at and work on, and he definitely improved miles by the end of last season, but number 7 is just too high for me. I guess that still technically does have him as NBA second team. So again, I could live with it, but just seeing him at number 7 feels way too high. I would still, it's just too high. Now we can move on to second options. We can move on to the second options, which Bleacher Report also laid out here. They have Domantas Sabonis at number 7 on this list. The 7th best second option, and I don't know why it is only showing me the first and third option on here, but let's see. I believe you have this. There we go. Sorry about the choppiness there. So Domantas Sabonis is ranked number 7 in terms of the second options in the NBA. Again, you can kind of debate who is the Kings' second option. Is it really going to be Domas? Is it going to be DeMar DeRozan? How do you quantify a second option? Is it the person who scores the second most? Right. Is it the person who has the ball in their hands the second most? I think the Kings are definitely the team that complicates that formula probably more than anybody else. Anthony Davis is number 1 on the best second options in the NBA. Devin Booker, number 2. Jaylen Brown, number 3. I've got no issue with any of these. This is maybe where things start to get a little bit hairy. Bam Adebayo listed at number 4. Jamal Murray listed at number 5. I'm sorry, I misspoke.
And that's insane.
Domantas Sabonis falls at number 6 on this list. Of,
Jamal Murray at number 5.
Just outside the top 5. Yeah.
Is wild.
Sabonis should be top 5. Unquestionably.
Yes.
Unquestionably. I mean, you can have to me, Bam and Sabonis are the ultimate. They're the same tier. It's just what flavor ice cream do you like?
Yes.
Because Bam is a more defensive-minded, less playmaking, less physical, but he's got a better mid-range jump shot. He's a much better defender, much better rim protector. And they're probably equal scorers, just general, hey, how can you get me a bucket if we absolutely need to? So I think, again, favorite ice cream flavor, you can have Bam 4, you can have Sabonis 5. Either way, Sabonis has to be top 5.
Yeah.
There's no way. I'm sorry. And maybe they're giving him the benefit of the doubt. They're giving him the, hey, you won a championship as the second option. And, you might not have looked great for the entirety of last season. You had one of the worst summers a superstar has ever had. We'll give you the benefit of the doubt, but I just think Sabonis undoubtedly is a top 5 backup option. For what it's worth, number 7, Kyrie Irving, number 8, Karl Anthony Towns, number 9, Pascal Siakam, and number 10, Damian Lillard. Should also mention number 11, Tyrese Maxey.
Yeah, Tyrese is too low.
I think there's actually a chance. Looking at the names behind him, actually kind of shocked he's not lower just based off of how it feels like other people view Sabonis. I wouldn't have been surprised looking at some of these other names if we found Sabonis at number 9 in front of or behind Pascal Siakam, just based off of how some of these NBA writers feel about it.
I also think it's hilarious because they just have absolutely no clue what to do with the Knicks. I mean, they have Julius Randle at 14. They just have
wait. Julius Randle's not their second option. I put it at McHale. See, and that's where I think this list gets a little bit squirrely.
Yeah. And maybe it's based on not knowing.
And number 2 option, is Tyrese Maxey their number 2 option, or is it going to be Paul George?
I think it's Maxey, but you could make the argument based on who's rocking and rolling. Yeah, Pascal Siakam being at 9, I think it's a good look for Domantas Sabonis to be above a guy like him, above a guy like Kyrie, above a guy like Karl Anthony Towns. So I have less problem with the number 2 option conversation. I just think that the Jamal Murray thing is insane. And the write-up, people forget how good Murray was on Denver's title run. No, we didn't. That was just 2 years ago.
Nobody forgets it.
People forget how good Jordan Poole was 3 years ago. Where's the line here?
For what it's worth, also your boy Jordan Poole, number 30 on the best second option.
He's gonna have a
last in the
season.
league. So some last in the league in terms of second options. Jordan Poole. Yeah, behind guys. This is kind of crazy. First off, wow. How bad are things in Brooklyn? Poor Jordy Fernandez, listed as the Brooklyn Nets second best option. Dennis Schroeder, a guy who at points in very recent NBA history has been looking for a job.
Yeah.
And is the now Brooklyn Nets second option. Okay, so there you go. Some of the bottom 5 of second options, according to Yahoo here. Bogdan Bogdanovic falls at 25. Nikola Vucevic falls at 26. Tobias Harris at 27. Colin Sexton at 28. Dennis Schroeder, 29. Jordan Poole, 30. Where does DeMar DeRozan fall? We'll find out next.
Coming up next, we get into those third options and whether it is DeMar DeRozan or is it Keegan Murray? Who is it?
Or is it Keon Ellis? Why not?
Is it Neon Keon? Coming up next, we continue the conversation. Then we get into some news around the NBA. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Our first year as the radio home of the San Francisco 49ers is one we will never forget.
And Logan Ryan picks him up. Looks like they're playing man. LaPorte is over there as well. It's 5 out. It's empty on 4th down. Goff back. Not going to get out to his right, being chased, throws, and it is incomplete. The 49ers take over on 4th down again.
Congratulations to the 49ers on a terrific year. And thank you for so many wonderful memories.
I had been starting to be sick all the time at work. So I went to the doctor. He asked if people in the office smoked. He identified it as being exposed to secondhand smoke. I decided to sue. It was worth it in the end, California being the first state to be smoke-free in workplaces and restaurants in the country.
Andrea was part of a historic movement to ban smoking in the workplace. Learn how she and other Californians are fighting big tobacco at undo.org.
Have you heard you can listen to your favorite news podcasts ad-free? Good news! With Amazon Music, you have access to the largest catalog of ad-free top podcasts included with your Prime membership. Enjoy shows like The Daily, Up First, and Consider This, available ad-free on Amazon Music. To start listening, download the Amazon Music app for free or go to amazon.com/ad-free. That's amazon.com/ad-free to catch up on the latest episodes without the ads.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sacktown Sports.
Rob Schneider tickets at 1 p.m. Continuing to go through these Yahoo lists of the best second and third options. You have De'Aaron Fox coming in at 20th for the first options. Just insane. Domantas Sabonis 6th as far as the second options are concerned. And Chris, you have the best third option ready to reveal?
The best third option. Who is the star in the third role player? At number one, and this is why I presented the question with Philly, who is their real number 3 or number 2 option? Because falling at number 1 on the number 3 options, try and say that 5 times fast, is Paul George as the best third option in the league, 22 points per game last year. Makes sense, definitely, especially if you're going to classify him as the third option. Rudy Gobert falls at number 2. Kristaps Porzingis falls at number 3. Chet Holmgren at number 4. Desmond Bane at number 5. Number 6, you got Evan Mobley. And at number 7, you've got one DeMarvelous DeMar DeRozan of the Sacramento Kings. Number 8, Mikal Bridges. Number 9, Mr. Draymond Green. And number 10, Miles Turner. So there you go. The Kings have the 20th best first option, the 6th best second option, and the 7th best third option, according to Yahoo Sports. I feel like that's great. That has to be, especially in terms of second options. Like, I think the Celtics, and I think the Celtics might be the only team that fits somebody in all top 5 lists.
Well, what I'm saying is I think that DeMar, along with the Mikal Bridges, 2 guys that haven't played with the team yet, they're not going to get the same. Like, I think that DeMar could easily be ahead of Desmond Bane.
Evan Mobley for sure.
Evan Mobley for sure. If Yahoo could say, hey, we have not seen them play together.
Right.
So to be top 7, honestly, without playing a game is pretty darn good. But you know what, Chris? And I think Rudy Gobert is probably too high, but at number 2. But you know what, Chris? This brings me back to what my buddy initially asked me from the Bay Area when I was telling him about everything the Kings were doing. Everything that you just said that Yahoo just laid out. Domantas Sabonis at 6th, DeMar DeRozan at 7th for best second and best third option. Yes, De'Aaron Fox is 20th, but to me, that should be a playoff team. We should not even be talking about the 8 or 9 seed or messing around with the play-in. So that's why this all comes back to whether we and I think that De'Aaron should have been more like 14 on that list, but that's why we need to figure out, as Vlade talked about, we didn't know with De'Aaron and Luka. This season is huge for De'Aaron Fox because everybody else is, in theory, should carry their weight. Domantas Sabonis at 6 for best second option. DeMar DeRozan at 7 for best third option, and he's clutch. You got in my opinion, the guy who should have won 6th man of the year if he didn't get injured, that's Malik Monk. You have one of the best young stars under 25. He's on every under 25 list in Keegan Murray. if everybody does what they're supposed to do, why are we not talking about this team as a 4 seed? That's crazy.
Well,
that's
because
crazy.
the West is so deep. I think that's really what it is. It's just like, you definitely shouldn't. I mean, I say they should win 50 games. I mean, I definitely think that the expectations are way too low. I think this team is deep enough and it has fail safes built in to where they should be one of the best teams, especially in the Western Conference. But I think the reason why is because they haven't done it before. And I think it's scary to go out on a limb and be the one to say, hey, the Detroit Lions this year are going to make the NFC Championship game. No one wants to be the one that goes out there and makes that stand, because you could look really stupid if they just do what they've done for their entire existence. So I think it is a lot of fear that has led to people not wanting to go all in on this Kings situation. I think it's very clear, especially by these rankings. I mean, if you have DeMar DeRozan in living up to that hype as being the 7th best, or if not better, 3rd option, and like you said, Domantas Sabonis being a top 5 second option, that should undoubtedly be good enough. The only other teams that can boast anything close to that are the Boston Celtics. Let's see here. Boston and Minnesota are the only other two, and Minnesota definitely is number 2, and Boston is number 1. The Kings are pretty much 3rd in the list of having the best 3 top 3 players. Like I think that the expectation should be higher, but the problem is with this team, we kind of also are okay if they don't make the playoffs, if they don't make the playoffs, but if they just sneak into the playoffs because of the history. So I think the expectation should definitely be 50 wins, but I think the reality is that people just want to see this team in the playoffs, and as long as that's the case, they're going to be happy. But realistically, they should be expected to win 48 to 50 games.
Draymond Green, and you know what? This is why, and Esteban in the Sac chat or in the text line talked about how subjective these lists are, and obviously they are, because the question is the importance versus the talent, right? There is no way on God's green earth that Draymond Green should be number 9 in front of Miles Turner, Chris Middleton, DeJounte Murray. There's no way. Not to me.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it depends how much you value his defense still, I think, and what he, the other things he brings to the team, his defense and his playmaking and things like that. I think there's still, I'm not really the biggest Miles Turner guy. I think Chris Middleton's been injured for the past 2 seasons. And that's why. And, I'm also not the biggest. I personally would probably have Draymond still top 10, but that I think it's just a matter of what you think he still brings and how valuable you still think that is.
How about possible disrespect for one Michael Porter Jr. at 18?
18's crazy. 18's crazy. I mean, that is really the biggest disrespect. I mean, look at the names that are in front of him. You got Brandon Miller, Jalen Johnson, Kobe White in front of him. I mean, how are you going to give Alan? Let's not forget. People are quick to forget Michael Porter Jr. 2 years ago was in the NBA Finals, right?
Yeah, what about
where's that same energy?
Yeah, where's that?
You had Jamal Murray top 5 because of what he did 2 years ago. No, granted, Michael Porter Jr. was kind of trash in those finals, but I mean, I'm just saying, I think you have to hold the same weight. I think MPJ is going to be I could see him being the piece that Denver ends up moving on from. I could see him going to a situation where maybe he really starts to cook.
Whitey, if you're listening,
from a scoring perspective,
Whitey, if you're listening to this, can you make sure that Draper sees this list to see that John Collins is number 28
on 3rd options? On the 3rd options
Whitey,
list.
Please, if you're listening, I need Kyle Draper to see this list.
Big fella, I don't care.
He's not
going to be the 3rd option here in Sacramento.
Give me this list. Let me rip up this list. I'm going to rip up this list.
Let me see that. Let me see that list.
LeBron James.
I don't need that list
of the station.
Get your stupid list out of here.
Now, hand me the list.
Come on.
No, I said I don't need the list. Now come hand me the list again. I told you I don't. He is in front of Jaden Ivey.
Come on.
And Scoot Henderson. Drapes, what are we doing?
He's not going to be our 3rd option, big fella. I don't.
Where's he going to be? By the way, Austin Reeves at 22. That's pretty rough, too.
If Drapes ever listened to this show, you guys would be in a lot of trouble.
Probably punch me in the face.
Yeah, he would. Yeah.
Drapes, John Collins.
You would be getting your credentials revoked at the Kings games.
John Collins. Someone's got to unlock him. Who's going to unlock him? Number 28 coming up Next, we go around the NBA. We have a Kawhi update, a Shams update. Yeah, on Shams himself. And JJ Redick not wasting any time announcing the Lakers starting lineup. Mind the game, huh? Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out SacktownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SacktownSports.com.
Want to keep your gas-powered engines running like new? Stable's proprietary formulas are proven by third-party testing to outperform the competition in keeping fuel fresh, preventing corrosion, and cleaning the entire fuel system. With Stable, you can have confidence you are doing the right thing for your engine's long-term health. Just pour into your gas can or fuel tank, then top off with fresh fuel. At every fill-up or when you store, start with Stable. Available where fuel additives are sold.
Mom, meet Sarah.
From first-time Nana moments.
Welcome to Flight 101.
To annual girls trip moments. Your can't-miss moments are worth protecting against RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV. And there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com.
So where should we go next?
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Grab the keys to a new Toyota. Let's go! Enjoy fall to the fullest with amazing MPG and performance. Fill up less and explore more in a new Toyota. Choose between 16 hybrid and electrified Toyota models, more than any other brand, and rack up the miles with Toyota's class-leading fuel efficiency and reliability. Put more fun in every mile this fall.
Grab the keys, come on, let's go.
Toyota. Let's go places.
Sponsored by Xfinity Internet. Enjoy ultimate control of your home network. Personalize your Wi-Fi name and password. Assign user profiles, view and control connected devices, and more with the Xfinity Internet app.
Thunder, feel the thunder.
It ignites something inside of you.
Lightning and the thunder.
Sets alight an elevated state of being. Days are pure exhilaration. And the nights, they're simply electric. See it, hear it, feel it.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system? You were a bit surprised at how much it cost, or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Sacktown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
Telling Chris that Yelp, was it Yelp, Chris? The Yelp
correct
list came out, and all of a sudden I'm seeing Instagram promos, or not promos, but this you might like this, whatever the case is, suggested videos for the char market. And the first video I saw looked like some bone marrow, some bone marrow going on. So the char market, what number was it, Chris?
3.
Number 3.
Are we gonna have to DoorDash?
Do they DoorDash?
Do they DoorDash?
Once you get on number 3.
Oh man, Chris is already.
I feel like you might need it fresh.
Yeah, you might. I can't today.
Yeah, that is true.
but Char
Why would
Market.
you ask that?
Because that's
You
what
got
he
my
does.
hopes up.
We'll get Charizard later.
They got a sponsor, dude. We need to
Somebody-
get sponsored by
somebody.
some sort of food delivery.
I'm working on it.
Come on, DoorDash.
I'm working on it.
Take
Don't worry.
Grubhub.
Do you think
From-
this is like a shill thing? Is that what you're implying? Like that, like they're the Yelp. This is a paid Yelp thing. and
No,
not a
not at
promotion?
all. Not at all.
Okay.
I'm just saying it wasn't from Yelp. It was, those people, when I get on those people that they travel
Right.
around. And I'll tell you this, back in the day,
Back in my day.
my wife and I, we were one of the first ones to do the food thing.
A&K take the bay.
How did you find that?
What?
Are you a creeper?
I think you told us.
What?
I don't think I did. It was A&K.
Back in the day, A&K took the bay.
That was the name of it. And I'll tell you this much, guys. We did pretty well for ourselves. What happened was it's expensive.
Yes.
It's expensive.
Yes, especially if you're not getting it on the back end, right?
Free meals.
Yeah.
These people are not getting free meals. And all they wanted, and they go and they take the pictures and the video, and you can't tell anything because no one's ever given a bad review.
No, it's always great. It's always the best.
And then
food
I've gone because there are a couple
Pictures are always
places in
great, too.
Natomas. I won't name them, but we've gone to a couple places in Natomas, and I told Frankie, I said, don't go here.
Yeah,
because they made it look great. And it was not good.
Never get food in Natomas, really.
And I wanted to tag. I wanted to tag the people. Say you're lying. Stop lying.
I mean, you've said it before. You should start. Like, I really do think that there is a business model for like honest food review.
I will be the Grant Cohn of Sacramento food.
Yeah, but he's kind of like the anti though. So you got to be like,
even if it is good.
Yeah, even if it is good,
those
it's
teachers
bad.
that I don't give A's. That would be me.
Oh my
right?
gosh.
If someone gets a B,
you get an A-, like, oh wow.
Yeah. You're probably going to
touched
Yale.
the territory.
You're probably going to Yale.
I mean, you should try
I'm
it.
going to, but it's expensive.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely the worst part. Because, you can't just get the main course. You got to get all the apps, and, you got to get their
Oh, no,
fruity
the whole
drink
thing.
and everything. And,
Yeah.
Always got to use fluffy words.
And you got to you're taking all these pictures, and you got to order all this stuff. We
gotta
did
bring
it for
your kid.
we probably did it for about that was before the kiddo. Now, we probably did it for about a year, guys. And
That's
I thought
a long time.
this is fun, but it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
We didn't have as many apps. This is 2015, 2016, and it was expensive.
Yeah.
So these people out there, I don't know what you're searching for, but stop lying.
You should do different fast foods like the Taco Bell on like Manzanita versus the Taco Bell on Madison.
To save money.
yeah. I'd be
These
like,
days,
dude,
honestly.
the way they put the water in the beans on this one.
See the crunch wrap here?
Yeah.
Less crunch.
It's way different.
Yeah, I got a crunch wrap a couple days ago. Need more meat.
Oof.
Yeah.
Need more meat.
Need more meat. From the 916, our guy Murph, I cannot wait to see the Kings as the number 1 seed in the West this year.
Ooh.
And every beat writer trying to pull their foot out of their mouth. Light the beam. There's always a possibility nobody saw the beam. Thank you, Draymond.
Light it.
Number 9, according to Chris, number 9, third option. Get out of here with that.
That's right.
Terrible. I'll take.
He might be. Who's their second option?
They had
was it
Wiggins at 22.
Okay.
They had Yahoo had Wiggins at 22. Eesh. Yeah, look, nobody saw the 3 seed day coming, right? The 3 seed season coming. Yeah. So maybe Murph, maybe. We sure hope so. All right.
Maybe on October 25th.
All right, don't start. I had them top 3 last season and I looked crazy. Yeah. But now we'll have to do our predictions pretty soon here because it's around the corner. It's basically next week.
All
right, let's get to around the NBA. Let's start with a better option than De'Aaron Fox. Better first option than De'Aaron Fox, according to Yahoo Sports. Kawhi Leonard. Stop me if you've heard this story before. Clippers star. Oh, but did you see that supposedly that was 6 years ago yesterday?
Yes, I did, yeah.
Something like that. And it kind of makes sense with the media day. 6 years ago. The Clippers star Kawhi Leonard underwent a procedure on his knee in the offseason. Sources told Shams Charania and Law Murray, friend of the show.
Law.
The franchise said today Leonard will be limited to strengthening his knee to start Clippers training camp, but team officials are optimistic about his progress. Chris, nobody really thinks the Clippers are going to do anything. I guess it's possible they could be one of those surprise teams. They're opening up the Intuit Dome, and we know it's going to be beautiful in there. Maybe we'll sneak a trip out there before the season is over. But you're rocking with Kawhi Leonard and what's left of his knee, and James Harden and Derrick Jones Jr. I mean, I don't know what to make of this. If you're the Clippers, what's the rush? But also there is a rush because you cannot have empty seats in that arena first season. That's a bad look, Chris.
No, and I'm looking at where Yahoo ranked their options. James Harden as the second option for LA falls at number 16. How crazy is that MVP James Harden is now the 16th best second option? No, 100%. I think I saw actually I think the Clippers did a version of Media Day yesterday, or at least did their press conferences. I believe I saw a weird comment from Ty Lue saying about James Harden. He's going to know the pecking order this season.
Oh.
So I'm not sure if that's saying James Harden is going to be up in that pecking order, or if that's saying, no, James, like, you need to understand exactly where you stand, and it's not going to be at the top of this. So definitely interested to see exactly.
I would argue the opposite.
The comeback of that. Yeah.
You'll be number 2 without Paul George. That's how I would
think so.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was a weird headline that I saw across yesterday, and I'll try and get some more clarity on that. But yeah, as the third option for the Clippers as well, I don't even know who it would be. They have it listed as Zubac, who falls at number 23 on the third option. So yeah, there you go. Their second and third options. Oh, well, Kawhi's 19 for first option or whatever. James Harden's 16. Zubac is 23. That doesn't sound like a very good team.
You're trying to get into a play-in
Yikes.
situation. I guess they could get a jump from someone. I know you're not too high on Derrick Jones Jr. I mean,
Kawhi's not going to be healthy either.
No,
I don't know what they're going to do.
Look, we want people to be healthy. We want players to be healthy, but I don't necessarily mind a Western Conference team that you don't really have to worry about.
I kind of wonder, actually, this thought just popped in my head. Are we going to see could this be a James Harden redemption season? Like where maybe numbers-wise, exactly, where Kawhi's going to be out a lot of the year. Their second best player, if Kawhi's not playing, is apparently Ivica Zubac. A lot of pick and roll with James Harden and Zubac. Like maybe it looks a little bit like the old Houston days, and he just has a crazy high usage percentage. And they do still have my boy Norm Powell. They've got some good role players out there. I don't think they're going to be great, but I just think they're going to be very interesting. I don't know if they'll be a league pass because I'm not sure they're entertaining, but I'm just fascinated to see what exactly their season looks like.
Yeah, and again, I'm just looking here at some of the guys that they added. Mo Bamba, they just Amir Coffey, Bones Highland, Chris Dunn. It's just anybody that at one point had a little bit of pub. Terrence, they still got Terrence Mann, PJ Tucker, Kai Jones. This is the land of misfit toys. Nicholas Batum. Yeah, they're the ones, Chris, that took the chance on Kevin Porter Jr.
Yikes.
As well.
That's right.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. I don't know. By the way, I'm on the Clippers website. They got assistant coach Dante Jones, but he's still in a jersey. He is in a jersey.
That's like
as an assistant coach.
I was playing NBA 2K the other day, and they have Doug Christie on the Kings staff, but it's the player model of Doug Christie on the Kings staff. So he has hair and everything. It's just that's just a mess.
That just can't happen. No. All right. Come on. Next on the around the NBA slate, Shams Charania, NBC, and Amazon have shown interest in Shams per Michael McCarthy. NBC Universal is eyeing free agent reporter Shams Charania, sources tell Front Office Sports. I've also heard Amazon is interested. The two sports media giants are posed to divide the NBA's TV rights with incumbent ESPN starting with the 2025-2026 season. TNT Sports, the NBA's other longtime incumbent media partner, is suing to retain its rights. Chris, you had a theory on Shams on what he may or may not do, but I guess it was more about there's somewhere you think he will stay connected to.
Yeah, he's a complete free agent from my understanding. Like he can go, his contract with The Athletic is up. I think his contract with Stadium Sports or whatever that was is up as well. And I was just thinking especially as this report that you read is actually a perfect example. As he reports with Law Murray, we've talked with Sam Amick, we've talked with with Anthony Slater, a couple other athletic writers, and essentially how it goes when they do reports like this is it's the local person getting some scoops, and then Shams is kind of always in communication with agents, maybe with teams and things like that. And so it's like a coming together to create a 100%, hey, we have this source from two different sides coming together. I just think it's a really mutually beneficial thing. And I was trying to think, how does Shams stay in the light, right? You still have to stay credible. If he goes and, does something with, the Score Network or the Score app or something, feels like maybe his credibility goes a little bit down.
Right.
If he just tries to build something from the ground up, staying with the Athletic just makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it does. And I think to that point,
and the Athletic needs it too. They still, as Tim Kawakami and, not that those guys are the end all be all, but I think as the Athletic stays around longer, people are going to continue to question, where am I getting my money's worth for this?
Well, I think what becomes the issue is if he tries to go to ESPN, and maybe he has this much power, but Shams isn't going to want to write, or Shams, I don't know how much he's writing.
Yeah.
I know the articles will come out and they'll mostly be collaborations, but Shams normally will have something for the Athletic.
Yeah.
If he goes to ESPN, the ESPN is going to say, no, we want our articles.
Yes.
We want your articles on our platform.
Right.
So I don't know.
Both. Right.
Yeah. I don't know that the Athletic would. What if he can't write for the Athletic or put out articles for the Athletic? Then what's the point?
Yeah. I also just don't think for ESPN specifically too. It's a TV network. I don't know how much TV Shams wants to do. He's pretty robotic in front of the camera.
Yeah.
Not that.
Kay Adams.
That's all of a sudden he gets big personality.
Does she still do basketball? Or
Not
is it just
that I've seen.
Yeah, is it only football because it's football
season?
season?
Because
she just did football.
Never
I
seen
think
her
it's
do
just
Shams.
different NFL receivers every Tuesday. That's really it.
She's had KD on the show.
Well,
I don't know if they
picks
talk
now.
basketball.
Yeah, he's doing the picks now.
Oh yeah.
And I've been meaning to catch that.
Isn't it him and
Not
LeBron?
me.
Or who's
LeBron's
doing
doing
DraftKings with Kevin
Oh,
Hart.
Okay.
how
KD's
stupid am I?
FanDuel.
Yes.
Please.
Come
Oh
on.
dude.
man,
We just
Come
need
on. Don't get it
Steph to
twisted.
do underdog or
No
something
thanks.
like that.
No
But that would be perfect.
because he's the underdog.
Because he's the underdog.
Yeah, 4 championships.
Davidson, undersized. He's not even 6'3".
Under
Coming
the
up
Ankles.
next, the Lakers and JJ Redick announced the starting lineup. Should we be worried? Are we underselling the third option, number 22 or 28, whatever the heck he was, Austin Reeves and the Los Angeles Lakers? Stiles and Watkins, Sac Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
Good morning, Doctor.
Doctor?
Hi, Doctor.
Doctor?
Dr. Jackson's practice is growing.
What do you mean we're still short-staffed?
He needs a good patient doctor.
How do we not have enough doctors to doctor all these patients?
And he doesn't have the patience to sift through hundreds of resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Meet Cheryl.
Hey.
She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's got to be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Silverado savings spectacular now at Maida Chevy with $13,000 off MSRP. Every new Silverado half-ton LTZ in stock after rebates. $12,500 off every Silverado half-ton High Country after rebate. And $11,000 off all new Silverado half-ton RSTs exclusively at Maida Chevy at MaidaChevy.com. Sacramento Silverado headquarters. Whatever Silverado you choose, you'll save thousands at Maida Chevy. Together, let's drive.
Not available with special financing and lease and some other offers. Must trade in 2010 model year or newer. Ends 9/30/24.
Who's ready for some fun on Saturday? Country in the Part 2 takes over Heart Health Park at Cal Expo with Dierks Bentley. Emily. Dasha. Plus line dancing and a mechanical bull, axe throwing, pop-up clothing stores, and food trucks. Tickets start as low as $52 at CITPfest.com. Grab your family and join us for Country in the Park 2 this Saturday at Heart Health Park. More at CITPfest.com.
Brought to you by A&A Concrete Supply, Folsom Hotel, and Corval, California, Champaign.
It's Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room, and guess what? Primetime football is back. Capital Casino is giving away $500 per game in high-hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game. As always, offering the best food, the best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. So check them out, Capital Casino, and always remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Sacktown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Continuing to go around the NBA, the Lakers, quote unquote, announced their starting lineup. Really what it was JJ Redick was asked the question. He was on with Zach Lowe, and he essentially said, we're going to rock with the team that I think they went 23-10. We're going to rock with the lineup that we had last season and that did pretty well for us, Chris. That was D'Angelo Russell, much to the Lakers' chagrin, as they've been shopping him all season long and nobody wanted him. Why nobody want me, Uncle Phil? Austin Reeves as the second guard, LeBron James as the forward, Rui Hachimura, who I think is terribly underrated at the other forward position, and Anthony Davis still rocking center, Chris. We went through a whole summer, by the way, of everybody talking about how Anthony Davis doesn't want to play center. And some people tried to put it on Darvin Ham, that Darvin Ham is making him play center, even though he didn't want to play center. And now, according to JJ Redick, if they rock with this starting five, he's still going to play center. I don't really understand how something like this happens. Is it something like, hey, you're just the best option? It is what it is. I'm trying to think of a different example off the top of my head. And Nate, maybe you can help me with this. I know I'm throwing it at you quickly, but there was a cornerback that it was something about he didn't want to play the nickel, but he was on the Niners and he didn't want to play the nickel, but Shanahan said you have to play or something like that. That's the only thing off the top of I don't think it was Lenore. I think it was somebody that might not even be on the team.
Was it Isaiah Oliver?
No, I don't think so. But
none of this is coming.
It was somebody where he didn't want to play a position, but Shanahan said, you have to play that position. That's really the only thing, Chris, off the top of my head that I can think about. Mookie Betts at the beginning of the season with the highest payroll in baseball. Somehow you have Mookie Betts playing shortstop for the Dodgers. These are some of the things that the situations I can think of off the top of my head, but I just don't understand how Anthony Davis is pretty open about not wanting to be a center, but he's still a center.
And you're confused as to why people keep putting him at center, or to why he doesn't want to play center?
No, why he keeps getting put at center.
Because he's 7 feet tall. Like I don't understand why he doesn't want to play center because he's soft.
But look at Cat.
Yeah, I mean, Cat plays more like a perimeter player though. Like he's the best. Alan, you know better than me. He's the best big shooting. He's the best big shooter in NBA history, according to himself. I mean, that's really what it is. And I would tell you Cat should play center, and you had to get the center of centers to put next to Cat because he is so averse to playing that position. I mean, it's people keep putting him at center because you can't rock 2 7-footers on the floor in today's NBA and have it work.
By the way, Chris, I just found this. It was Diamador Lenore, cornerback Diamador Lenore of the San Francisco 49ers. I think there were multiple situations. Blamed former defensive coordinator Steve Wilks for not allowing him to play nickel in the Super Bowl. Lenore discussed the issue on Richard Sherman's podcast. 49ers fired Wilks shortly after the Super Bowl loss. So that was the situation. Hey, I want to play this, but you won't let me play this. You're saying Anthony Davis wants to play a forward position, but doesn't play enough like a forward to play that position.
Yeah, and I mean the things that Anthony Davis is best at are center things. Like if Anthony Davis is playing the 4, it's the reason why we don't play Domantas Sabonis at the 4. Like he has to then guard the perimeter, and he's got to get put on switches, and he's probably especially Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis is maybe one of, if not the best rim protectors in the NBA. And if you're putting him at the 4, now granted defensively, maybe you could put him at the 5, but you better have a 5 who can then play on the perimeter. You can't put JaVale McGee at your center. I just don't know exactly how in today's NBA it's going to work. It doesn't make any sense. And I mean, he's definitely more mobile than Sabonis is, but for 82 games, you cannot have Anthony Davis playing your power forward spot and having him chase. I mean, if the Lakers are playing the Kings, Anthony Davis is going to be chasing around Keegan Murray. You can't have that if you're the Lakers.
Even if it's Keegan Murray or DeMar DeRozan, either way.
Yeah, I mean,
either way,
one.
He
doesn't want to guard on ball, and he doesn't want to chase Keegan around all day.
Yeah, to the rest of the lineup, Chris. I mean, not really much JJ can do here. He got no new tools to play, no new ingredients to make a different meal. So why you're going to try to make the what meal tasted best last time you ate here? That's basically what JJ is doing.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any other better lineup they can have. I'm sure, like maybe in his heart of hearts, he would like to go Gabe Vincent over D'Lo, but the fact that Gabe Vincent was just out for so much last year, you don't know how it's going to look. I think JJ's just trying to put the best possible team out there. No shocker there, but I think he's just trying to make sure that the floor doesn't fall out from under them and at least make sure that they're a solid team and figure things out from there. I think the worst thing he could do is try and from day one be an innovator, go different, and if it doesn't work, then you're pretty much starting behind the 8 ball when JJ is already freaking, he's outside the bar right now. He's not even on the pool table. So I feel like it's the right decision, I guess, just for continuity, but it's a lineup that we've also seen. Forget what JJ says the record is, but I just don't think I don't think it's going to really matter. I think they're going to be a very mid team. They're probably going to be the definition of 500 this year.
It's so funny, Chris, the similarities between some of the teams that have the craziest fan bases. I'm looking at the Niners, I'm looking at the Lakers, same exact situation, in my opinion, as the Cowboys. You have your two dudes, and obviously it's not the same because it's football and basketball, but you got LeBron, you got AD, and then it's who else? What else are we working with here? Cowboys, you paid Dak, you paid CeeDee, you got nobody else.
Nobody else. Yeah.
You got nobody else. So it's funny how these teams are finding themselves in similar situations. But let's get to the purple and the beam team. The Kings have signed a couple of guys.
Yes, I also do want to clarify. Earlier, I was talking about James Harden and the Clippers. The quote was from Lawrence Frank yesterday on James Harden. The pecking order will be pretty clear this year, was the exact quote. Again, I would guess that does mean more James Harden and less him standing around, if I had to guess. But yes, new faces for the Sacramento Kings. 2 names that, frankly, I haven't heard of, and I'm sure nobody else out there has heard much from either. The Kings have signed 2 players to an Exhibit 10 deal, one being one Justin Powell, and that is being reported this morning from Michael Scotto. And then about 20 minutes ago, Keith Smith of Spotrac put out that the Kings have signed Dexter Dennis to an Exhibit 10 contract as well. For those who don't know, that's an Exhibit 10 contract is pretty much just like an elevated 10-day deal. Pretty much both of these guys will be playing for Stockton, if I had to guess, or at least playing for a spot on the Stockton Kings roster. Last season in the G League, Justin Powell, he has not played an NBA game so far in his career, played 16 games last year with the Cleveland Charge, shot 36% from 3 on 5.5 attempts. So this guy is a pure shooter. He took 6 shots per game, 5.5 of them were 3. So it's pretty much all he's out there to do. I wouldn't really say that this is much of a future player or anything like that. I think this is just a really solid G League shooter, and I think they'll see if they can get anything else from it. How old he is? 20. No, that's his age. He was born in 2001. Quick math. 23 years old.
Okay. All right.
23 years old. Dexter Dennis is the other signing. He was born in 1999, so a little bit older. He is a guard as well. Should have mentioned that Justin Powell is 6'5", 197, so he appears to be a shooting guard, as does Dexter Dennis, 6'5", 210 out of Texas A&M. Not as much of a knockdown shooter, but still takes a ton of shots in general. He played 25 games last year for the G League Texas Legends. He played 13 games last year for the Texas Legends. Shot 12 shots a game, 7 of them were threes. He only knocked it down 33% rate, scored 15 a game in the G League last year. So I think this is a definite scoring guard. And, I don't really know what to expect out of these guys. I think that this is a bit of a different strategy than what the Kings had last year. We know that they had guys like Skal Labissiere, Stanley Johnson, Jeremy Lamb, even Deontay Burton is a bit of an older guy, and Jordan Ford as well. They had a really old Stockton team last year. I think we talked about it. It was kind of meant to be more of a system, so guys like Colby and last year Jalen Slauson could understand what it's like to not just score 30 points in a basketball game. Not super helpful when you get to the NBA level and you're only being asked to do 2 things. You only get 4 or 5 shots in a game. They wanted it to be more of like hey, let's put Colby in the role that he will be in the NBA so he gets comfortable with that. Seems like the Kings might be shifting to more of a traditional G League model as they now have a new G League coach as well. Can't forget that Lindsey Harding is no longer with the team. She'll be joining JJ in LA. So maybe a little bit of a new philosophy for the Kings when it comes to their Stockton squad. Yeah. Maybe if we talk with Monty McNair next Monday, we can ask him if that's intentional or not.
Yeah, you get the young talent in there, see what can develop, and more of a what is this, romper room? That's what it might look like, but you never know who could pop out of there. By the way, Chris, thank you to Chris Floyd and Nick on the Chris Floyd from the Sac Chat, Nick on the text line. The name I was thinking of was Jimmy Ward. Jimmy Ward. He there was a conversation about whether he refused to play nickel, and Shanahan said, well, if you want to play, you're going to have to play. So Jimmy Ward, who followed D'Amico Ryans to Houston and is now on the Texans. But yes, so there are a couple situations there with the nickel and situations with, Diamador Lenore and Jimmy Ward. But yes, the situation I was thinking of was Jimmy Ward. So thank you to both of you. Coming up next, this is where things get a little bit sticky for the 4-letter network, where the Kings rank in the future NBA power rankings. Basically, how do the Kings look in the next couple of years, specifically their 3-year projections? Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Chad, what's going on for Ram Power Days?
If you've been looking for the right, hard-to-find Ram heavy duty, great news. We have them. And right now, you can save up to $15,500 off MSRP on the new 2024 Ram 2500s.
You always seem to have the best deals and biggest selection of Ram trucks.
That's why we are California's #1 Ram truck dealer and #3 in the nation. Plus, we have over 400 new Ram trucks available, including those hard-to-find heavy duties. Your perfect truck is waiting at the Hoblet Ram Truck Center.
Find your new heavy-duty Ram in the Hoblet Ram Truck Center. See their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. And remember to check out the Hoblet Used Car Super Center in downtown Woodland with over 50 cars under $20,000. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
$15,500 total net savings on select new Ram 2500 tradesmen's after $9,000 factory rebates, $6,500 dealer discounts. Rebates include $3,000 Hoblet Select inventory coupons, $2,000 Hoblet trade-in assistance, must have qualifying trade-in, and $2,000 on-the-job incentive for qualifying business owners. At least 5 of this net savings. See dealer for details.
You've seen him on the roast of Tom Brady, and you've heard him host the #1 podcast in the world, Kill Tony. Now see Tony Hinchcliffe perform stand-up comedy live at the venue at Thunder Valley, Friday, October 11th. The man behind millions of views worldwide and countless sold-out shows brings his stand-up set to you. Tony Hinchcliffe. Critics call him a must-see. Don't miss this stand-up comedian, writer, podcast host, and professional wordsmith live in Sacramento. Tony Hinchcliffe. Get tickets at ThunderValleyResort.com.
If your passion is bass fishing, only one radio show has the action, information, and excitement of your favorite outdoor sport. Ultimate Bass, hosted by Tournament Bass Pro and California Outdoor Hall of Famer Kent Brown, takes you live to where the fish are biting every Saturday morning. Only Ultimate Bass feeds your passion with the latest news, products, tips, and advice from the pros. Ultimate Bass with Kent Brown, Saturday mornings at 5 a.m. on Sacktown Sports 1140, part of SEP's Saturday Morning Outdoors.
Who's ready for some fun on Saturday? Country in the Park 2 takes over Heart Health Park at Cal Expo with Dirk Bentley, Harmony, Sasha, plus line dancing and a mechanical bull, axe throwing, pop-up clothing stores, and food trucks. Tickets start as low as $52 at CITPfest.com. Grab your family and join us for Country in the Park 2 this Saturday at Heart Health Park. More at CITPfest.com.
Brought to you by A&A Concrete Supply, Folsom Hotel, and Corbell, California Champaign.
As a mom, I'd do anything to keep my child out of physical pain. Dr. Pamela Maida is a board-certified orthopedic surgeon. As a doctor, I know that growth spurts can cause pain in my child's feet, and that can affect their legs and back too. Good Feet Youth Arch Supports are designed to alleviate, even eliminate common pain. Investing in youth arch supports for your child or teen is one of the best decisions you can make.
Come to the Good Feet store now for a free fitting and test walk.
Can the Niners build off their NFC Championship appearance from last season? How will the quarterbacks perform throughout the year?
Purdy back, now going to throw for the end zone, wide open. Brandon Ayuk is on fire!
Will the defense lead this squad again?
Intercepted! Ball got tipped up and taken by Fred Warner!
Get all your 49er coverage throughout the NFL season on Sacktown Sports and SacktownSports.com.
A new Honda? Nice. Well, it was like this. It was a super hot day, so we all stopped for some ice cream. When bam, the AC went out. My dad started sweating and was all, man, I stink. And my brother was like, I hate this car. And my mom was all, I'm dying in here. Then I said, it's time to call Stockton Honda. Then Dad was like, honey, you're right. I knew you were my favorite. And just like that, Stockton Honda to the rescue.
StocktonHonda.com. KHD 1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Hammer time thrown down by the league. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacktown Sports, 1140.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sacktown Sports.
One hour away. The Rob Schneider ticket giveaway. We'll have those for you, 916-339-1140. It is Nate's turn to pick a lucky number, Hard Rock Live. 1 hour. So you can switch over if you're on the app in about 45 minutes. Okay, Chris, I don't like what I'm seeing here. I will let you try to explain to the good people where the Kings rank. This is per ESPN, the future NBA power rankings, which I just think is just – I think that sounds like the most peak summer article I've ever heard.
Very peak. They do it every single summer, and every single summer people wonder, but how are you figuring this out? The NBA future power rankings are ESPN's projections of the on-court success expected for each team over the next 3 seasons, the 24-25 season, 25-26, and the 26-27 seasons. It is kind of meant to look forward, obviously, and try and project more so. I don't think it is, hey, what are the power rankings going to look in 3 years? I believe it's more just if we are taking the 3 years outlook of your team right now. So I think where the Kings might fall short in this, if I had to guess, is that, with DeMar DeRozan being 35 years old and being a really big piece to this team's success, at least for this season, maybe their projections say, well, if you're going to be relying on a 38-year-old DeMar DeRozan or 37-year-old DeMar DeRozan in a couple of years, maybe we won't expect the same level of success or anything like that. Analysts Kevin Pelton, Bobby Marks, and Tim Bontemps were asked to rank teams in 5 different categories and rank them relative to the rest of the league. There's an explanation that we can go through. The 5 rankings are players, management, money, draft, and market. Those are the 5 things in which all the teams are ranked. They then take those rankings and create their power rankings, if you will. At number 1 is the Oklahoma City Thunder. I don't know if there's really any surprise there. Second youngest roster in the NBA. They still have a ton of draft picks. Last year, they were number 3 on these rankings. This year, number 1. Boston is number 2. They were number 1 last year. The New York Knicks move up to number 3 on this list. They were number 8 last year as well. The biggest riser, at least in the top 5, was the Dallas Mavericks, who ranked 16th last year and rose all the way up to number 5. Of course, their deep playoff run and I believe the addition of Klay Thompson are the major reasons for that. The biggest faller is the Denver Nuggets, at least again in the top 10. They fall from number 2 to number 6 this season, lost to KCP. And I would say the biggest riser in general on this list, the Houston Rockets, who went from 26 last season all the way up to number 7 after finishing 500 and a 16-6 close to their season. Now let's get on to the Sacramento Kings, who I should also mention here, by the way, before we get to the Kings, Golden State Warriors, number 9 on this list, number 5 last year. It says the Warriors landed in the top 10 for the 17th time in 18 rankings, despite missing the playoffs last season and losing Klay Thompson. The departure of Thompson has given Golden State greater roster flexibility. The Warriors continue to find themselves in the luxury tax this season, but avoided the first and second aprons. There is now a sense of stability with Steve Kerr and Steph Curry signing extensions, taking the coach through the 25 season and Steph Curry through the 26-27 season. So they're saying essentially the stability of knowing Steve Kerr and Steph will be there is good enough to keep the Warriors in the top 10. Somehow the San Antonio Spurs, who have the 7th best number 1 option in the NBA, they fall at number 10 on this list after being 18 last year. Now let's get to the Kings. The Sacramento Kings, unfortunately, on this list, and I'm excited to read the write-up, number 18. Last year, number 11 on this list. So a pretty big dip for the Kings. Their reasoning, and this is written from Bobby Marks, the Kings added 6-time All-Star DeMar DeRozan, re-signed Malik Monk, and extended Mike Brown through 26-27, but still fell 7 spots in this edition of the rankings thanks to primarily a drop from number 14 to number 20 in the draft category. The Kings still, here this thing goes again. The Kings still owe Atlanta a top 12 protected 25 pick from the Kevin Huerter trade, and Sacramento sent out San Antonio the rights to swap in 2031 as a part of the DeRozan trade. The Kings have no second-round picks available for trade in the next 3 years. I will say, that is not great. Second-round picks are a very easy way of getting especially trade deadline deals done for more of those, 7th through 10th guys in your rotation, just to kind of add some depth. Not having any second-round picks for the next 3 years, that's not great. And like I said, they're ranking every single one of these teams based off of 5 categories. The players, the Kings ranked 16th. The management, they ranked 15th. In terms of money, they landed 16th. In terms of market, they were 22. And in terms of draft capital, they were at number 20. So pretty much all middle of the pack. And then their market size and their lack of picks really put them behind a lot of these teams and had them fall from 11 last season to 18 this year. Alan, question, I guess, is a simple one in the point of the article. Do you feel like the Kings' future outlook, and we'll just do it as long as they did, 3 years, we can only look at this season following, and the one after that. Do you not feel like the Kings are in a decent shot to at least be competitive for these next 3 years?
Yeah, I don't really get the number 18 at all. I understand that DeMar DeRozan is no spring chicken, but at the same time, you have De'Aaron Fox, who will be in his prime at that time or moving into his prime. You have Domantas Sabonis, who will be moving into his prime or really in his prime. You'll have Keegan Murray, who will be at that point, he'll be 27. Okay, something like that. Keegan Murray will have found his footing by then. You still have Malik Monk. And I would say that I just can't see the Kings moving on from DeMar DeRozan and just not filling in that void with something, right? So to me, if you want to not have them in the top 5 or top 10, that's fine. But to not have them in the top 15.
In the bottom half of the league.
Yeah, the bottom half of the league is insane to me. That Keegan Murray is on every single, like I said, top players, top 25, under 25. We know what Sabonis brings to the table. He puts up Wilt numbers. We know who De'Aaron Fox is. So even without De'Aaron Fox, I still feel like they should be top 15.
Agreed. And I just had to double check to make sure. And yes, they're only going off of the next 3 seasons. And that's the part that I think they completely lose me. Like to me, there's no way that the Kings in the next 3 seasons now, and the fact that they even mentioned, and I know it's just draft capital in general, but to even mention the 2031 pick as a really big reason why they fell so far in that draft category. Again, I get it on its surface, but if we're only talking about the effect of the next 3 seasons, I don't think the Kings necessarily would need to utilize that 2031 pick in order to improve these next 3 seasons. I think, again, the write-up in the beginning of the article is these are projections based on the on-court success expected for each team over the next 3 seasons. Mm-hmm. I don't see how the Kings aren't better set up than a lot of the teams in front of them to have success. What is the Miami Heat are number 17? 3 years from now, they're not going to have Jimmy Butler. Yeah. They have no idea what they're going to do with Tyler Hero. I just read an article this morning of should the Heat try and trade Tyler Hero to the Kings to try and get De'Aaron and Bam together. Like, they have no idea I shouldn't have even mentioned it, but they just have no idea what their plan is for the future. For tomorrow. It's going to be a good show. No. Tomorrow is going to be a great show for you. It's going to be a great show for you. Yeah, I just don't agree with it. I think, I think the Kings are actually perfectly set up in this 3 years to that might even be the window. Like, if I had to say this team has a window, it's those 3 years. I just completely disagree. I think that they should be much higher on the list. Like I said, or like you said, I'm sorry. I don't know if they necessarily have to be in the top 10, but they should not be far out of it. No, just based on the other the other outlook. Who's in front of them? So in front of them immediately, Miami is 17. Crazy. The Pelicans are 16.
Okay.
The Milwaukee Bucks are 15. With
insane
35-year-old Brook Lopez, maybe older.
34-year-old Damian Lillard.
Damian Lillard can't quit the grind.
Yeah.
Chris Middleton, I really just don't think he has any more ligaments in his
He'll
knees.
Be coaching in 3
years.
Yeah,
like I think that's absolutely insane. They fall from 6 to 15 for what it's worth. And the Pacers are 14. That one I actually don't have a problem with. No. They're a young team. That one actually kind of makes sense. 13's the Cavs. Now that Donovan Mitchell's locked up, I guess I feel better, but you should still have questions on really everything else, and I guess they kind of do. Looking at Cleveland's rankings, 8th in players, 19th in management, 22nd in money, 26th in market, 25th in draft. Feels like those rankings probably should have led to Cleveland being a bit lower, but Memphis is 12, Orlando's 11, which is funny because, again, I would say that that's those teams 10, 11, 12. Exactly. I would have San Antonio who's 10, Orlando who's 11, and Memphis who's 12. I would definitely have them in the top 10.
Yes.
Undoubtedly. But the fact that the Warriors are in there is very strange. I think the fact the Nuggets in there is a bit strange as well. Those are really my biggest quarrels.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Kings should absolutely, as I feel like we say all the time, but the Kings should absolutely be higher on this list.
Yeah.
Lakers are 21 for what it's worth. Last year they were 10.
Yeah. And I think the Pelicans might actually fall into something that they didn't necessarily want. I think it could end up working out with Brandon Ingram, but we have no clue. There's drama there. Brandon Ingram, he wants to get paid. Nobody wants to pay him. So it's just a lot on Zion, man. People are still really high. You know what's so funny, guys? And maybe it's because of the numbers that he puts up when he does play. I'm just comparing him. I think Zion, the numbers he's put up is better than what Trevor Lawrence has done. So I'm not
eat the table.
I'm not comparing him to Trevor Lawrence, but I do think it's funny if Zion, who would Zion be right now if he were a young quarterback in the league? Because I feel
I
like
got one.
He's getting so much more leeway than a quarterback would who's dealt with. Is he Joe Burrow? I mean, what is he?
I was going to say Kyler, just because I don't know what they are.
He might be. You might be spot on.
Yeah.
Jamarcus Russell, Big Ben.
No, you're just naming.
I'm thinking of
big people.
Oh, I got the question confused.
He's the
Sorry.
hefty lefty.
I like
Jared Lorenzen.
Yeah, I like Kyler.
I do too.
But I do think
like
that.
Zion.
But with that being said,
Maybe
I said
4 Bryce Youngs.
I like the Kyler comparison, but I feel like the NBA world, when we look at these lists, Chris, Zion is getting a lot more leeway, benefit of the doubt, and he's ranked way higher than Kyler. But I do think it's Kyler. Nobody
talks about him at all.
Yeah,
at all.
Yeah. Coming up next, the Sac-12 and the Pac-12. We had sound from the morning show as they break down the TV markets and how that could affect Sacramento's ability to sneak into the Pac-12. And the Sac-12 puts out a feasibility study on how Sacramento would be able to handle the Pac-12. Stiles and Watkins, Sac-Town Sports.
Keegan Murray plays here.
Keegan scores another three-pointer. Keegan Murray knocking it down for 23 points. Match De'Aaron Fox for game scoring honors.
Sac-Town Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Hey, I can't wait for golf this weekend, huh, buddy? Time flies. Love you, man. Oh, don't forget your knee brace again. We aren't in college anymore.
Moments together matter, so help protect yourself from RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV, and there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Sac-Town Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sac-Town Sports and subscribe.
By the way, Chris Floyd, I did not know Chris Floyd on the Sac Chat was Crumble Chris. So shout out to Crumble Chris helping me out with the Jimmy Ward shout. As we ask the question, who is Zion as a quarterback, just in terms of what he's done in the league, not who he looks like, Nate. 916 is Justin Herbert. Chris.
Yeah, sure.
I think that's a good one. I think Justin Herbert might have a little bit too much cachet. So I do like the Kyler Murray. There's no perfect one. Kyler doesn't have as much cachet.
Yeah.
Zion has more cachet than Kyler. I think Zion has less cachet than Justin Herbert.
Do you guys think Pelicans fans should yell timber when Zion starts to fall over?
What's wrong with you?
I do not. No.
Okay, I just wonder.
By the way, I did see Jose Alvarado. It was a highlight reel just randomly on my timeline. It was Jose Alvarado
just doing the
defensive
steals.
highlight to cleanse the timeline. I almost sent it to you, but I didn't want you to block me.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
All right. Well, no one is going to block Sac State's ability to get to the Pac-12. At least they hope not. And the Sac-12 are trying to make sure that doesn't happen. We have some sound here And this is from Josh Wood of the Sac 12. He was on with Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross, basically explaining the media market and how that could affect Sac State's ability to get the Pac-12 invitation and to become a member of that conference. Here it is.
Why not?
Josh Wood, co-chair of the Sac 12, trying to get Sac State up quite a few notches into the Pac-12. He joins us right now. Josh, so we had a comment on our chat line, and you've seen this, I've seen this. Sac State Sac State's not a big enough school to fit what the Pac-12's looking for. They're not Oregon State. They're not Washington State. Hell, they're not Boise State when it comes to the program. What would you say to somebody saying this is too ambitious and Sac State's too small, their endowment's too small, whatever it may be for a conference like the Pac-12?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same argument they made against the Kings, that Sacramento was too small. And the reality was being a single-team market was a big differentiator. And, Sacramento doesn't have a proliferation of universities. So it's kind of a similar argument. We could really elevate Sac State into this level. They need to prove that they can build a stadium. We need to raise NIL money to show that we can be competitive at the highest level. And we need to show that people will turn out for games. The reality is if you look at who's in the Big Sky Conference, it's not a huge motivator to get people out for games. But if you look at who's in the Pac-12 and who's going to be in the Pac-12, getting 25,000 people out to a game is going to be a realistic thing for us to do. We are a top 19 DMA market in the country. If we're a top 19 media market in the country, we would be the number 2 school in the Pac-12 as far as media market residency. There are a lot of reasons from the media market, from the diversity of our media market, why we should be at the top of the list for the Pac-12, if anything.
It's got me convinced, Chris. This is the official attendance from Cam Salerno. This is the official attendance for the Causeway Classic. This was in 2022, the last time it was in the 916. 23,000. Okay, and Nate, you said you were in the building then. So as we discuss, getting to that 25,000 mark and whether or not they can do that consistently, Josh Wood brings up 25,000. Causeway Classic, that's UC Davis, Sac State, of course, 23,000. So it's possible.
In my opinion, it's too small for that many people right now. I think I was talking to Chris about this. Was this yesterday or today? I couldn't get a drink. Or they need to expand if they're going to expect that.
That's the plan, right?
Capacity,
they don't have concession. I mean, it's a bunch of food trucks out there.
Right.
Yeah. Right. And the lines, it seriously would take a quarter and a half if you wanted to order something.
The lines get mixed up because there's so many people in line. You can't tell which line you're in line for.
Yeah.
It's a mess. I mean, it's a complete mess.
Yeah.
And for me, honestly, I have no concerns about media market size or attendance or anything. To me, if they, and it's shocking to me that granted that was one question, but to me, it's the financials that are a lot more questionable for this thing to work out. I mean, we're talking about them literally building a new football stadium. It is not just, hey, we need to,
just to expand. This is not just expanding.
No, this is we need infrastructure. We need a real new building. I'm going to try and get the official wording of what the independent study did that was on Sac State that essentially said the improvements that they need to make would have to be very significant to that football field and to the basketball floor as well. I mean, I think that's, to me, the much bigger obstacle. That, to me, is the much bigger thing that I have a question about than the attendance. I mean, Sacramento is going to show up. I think, you obviously, you list the Causeway Classic attendance. That's always going to be a given. I don't necessarily know if, Sac State, Washington State is necessarily going to drive the attendance that they maybe think it is. But
and that's what I
think it's the facilities. To me, if the facilities are nice, people will show up for a good day, for something to do on a Saturday. But I would not try and position this like it has anything to do with the competition they're playing. I think it's all about the facilities and making sure that everything, just the entire program, is up to a certain level. So to me, attendance is the last thing I'm worried about. It's infrastructure, it's facilities, And it's frankly NIL too. Like, you have to get the talent there. Nobody's going to go see Sac State basketball program that's, 15 games under 500.
Yeah. Does the Pac-12 mean the same when it isn't the same Pac-12?
That's also a great question too.
I mean, if the Pac-12,
we're talking Utah State here.
You're happy that you're getting the name, but the name is the name. Does the name carry the same? How many times have I said this word in this segment? Carry the same cachet.
Yeah.
Because like you said, Washington State, Oregon State, and then a bunch of teams that have been, please, we want to get up to the Pac-12. So now, is this just a better version of the Mountain West?
Well, and then we don't have the local ties either, right? Like the big thing, obviously, with the Causeway Classic is it's Davis and Sac State. If they're in the Pac-12, the whole thought of being in the Pac-12, the thing that would make that exciting is, oh my gosh, Sac State gets to play the Southern California rivals, maybe some other Northern California
Cal, Stanford, none of those teams are in the Pac-12.
What are we supposed to do with Sac State against Tulane? Does anybody feel any sort of aggression towards the people of Tulane University?
The only thing I can think of is if Sac State with a 12-team playoff, if Sac State cooked enough, you're in big bowl games and things like that. It's more about, I think, where we're getting to is this is more about the experience and it's more about the team being good.
Yep.
There's no real need, no disrespect whatsoever to talk about Gardner Minshew's Washington State and Oregon. DJ last name, he's gone now, but that Oregon State team as well. I think it'll help, but this isn't your grandfather's Pac-12, which I think is okay.
Yeah.
But let's focus on other things.
So I want to just read here from the statement, the independent study, what exactly it says. It says, the executive summary of this study highlights important considerations, including the need to increase scholarships for student athletes to meet the benchmarks of top-tier programs. Additionally, it emphasizes a focus on enhancing football and basketball venues, including expanded seating, enhanced media and team areas, and increased revenue opportunities through premium seating and sponsorship. The report also outlines the importance of Sac State supporting student athletes through Sac State's strategic development of its NIL initiatives. So it's pretty much, again, get your NIL up, and the things they listed there, new seating, new media and team areas, locker rooms and press rooms, and more premium seating and having sponsor. Like, we're talking about a whole new facility here. That is a whole makeover of what is currently there.
And what I brought up last week when somebody said, hey, I'm from Sacramento. Does it kind of feel like Sacramento is maybe
overexpanding?
It's overexpanding. Yeah. And it's not the idea that I think people get confused when you hear someone say something like that, hey, we're not going to be able to support the A's and a Pac-12 football team. And obviously you have the Kings and you have the Republic. I don't think that's and the River Cats. I don't think that's the argument. I think the argument is everything you have to do to get there.
Yes. Yeah.
There's just,
that's a lot of development.
A lot of development, a lot of money to be, there's just a lot going on. You're naming
stadiums never go for the listed price either, right? Like, you say it's going to be a $500 million build, ends up being 700
because you're bringing up all this stuff about, and that don't forget, it's not just the football, it's basketball too. Yes. And so you have that going on. Meanwhile, when are they going to start the expansion on Sutter Health? You got to do the expansion on Sutter Health. Now, these aren't all the same.
They're not connected,
people
but yes,
there's just a lot going on.
Yeah.
And I feel like it could be beautiful in about 5 to 10 years. I think it'd be great. But I think we're kind of going to be just like Keegan Murray. It's going to be the caterpillar stage going on here. And I don't know how this stuff is going to line up, because if the A's 3 to 4 years, would they even be done with Sac State football and basketball? So people thinking we're going to have all this stuff. I don't even know if those timelines
there's no way
necessarily match up. Yeah, now they could be in the Pac-12. Even if they don't have the stadium, which I think is what they want.
I don't know if they're going to get it.
Very similar to the A's. Just come on over. We'll build something sometime, but just come on over and lock it down for now. Coming up next, we continue the conversation on Sac-12 and the Pac-12. And a little bit later, we close the book on the annoying San Francisco Giants. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Subscribe to Sacktown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys, live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus, view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sacktown Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Folsom Lake Kia.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center, and you feeling that breeze outside? A nice and cooler day out there. Temperatures will peak in the mid-80s. Expect overnight lows to drop off into the upper 50s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
DC here for Folsom Lake Kia, where they make car shopping easy with a huge selection of new Kia models, low payments, and zero down deals with approved credit. Folsom Lake Kia, your trusted dealer in Folsom for over 25 years. FolsomLakeKia.com.
Attention, if you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. They'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit khtk.com. Sponsored by Xfinity Internet. Enjoy ultimate control of your home network. Personalize your Wi-Fi name and password. Assign user profiles, view and control connected devices, and more with the Xfinity Internet app.
Hey, this is Greg Papa. Are you working through a major insurance claim? SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to, not what just some adjuster working for an insurance company thinks you should get. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884. Who's ready for some fun on Saturday? Country in the Part 2 takes over Heart Health Park at Cal Expo with Dierks Bentley, Parmalee, plus line dancing and a mechanical bull, axe throwing, pop-up clothing stores, and food trucks. Tickets start as low as $52 at CITPfest.com. Grab your family and join us for Country in the Park 2 this Saturday at Heart Health Park. More at CITPfest.com.
Brought to you by A&A Concrete Supply, Folsom Hotel, and Corbell, California, Champaign.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system? You were a bit surprised at how much it cost, or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Don't miss Comedy for a Cause, Thursday, September 26th at the venue at Thunder Valley Casino Resort. An outstanding evening of comedic performances. All proceeds from Comedy for a Cause will benefit the Placer County Sheriff's Activities League and Child Abuse Prevention Council of Placer.
Silverado savings spectacular now at Maida Chevy with $13,000 off MSRP. Every new Silverado half-ton LTZ in stock after rebates. $12,500 off every Silverado half-ton High Country after rebate. And $11,000 off all new Silverado half-ton RSTs exclusively at Maida Chevy at MaidaChevy.com. Sacramento Silverado headquarters. Whatever Silverado you choose, you'll save thousands at Maida Chevy. Together, let's drive.
Not available with special financing, lease, and some other offers. Must trade in 2010 model year or newer. Ends 9/30/24.
Sacktown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Continuing to talk about the Sac-12 and Pac-12 news. In 30 minutes, we are giving away tickets to see Rob Schneider. Rob Schneider returns to Sacramento for a night of nonstop laughs. And, of course, Sacktown Sports wants you in the building. Hit up the Folsom Lake Honda hotline at 1 p.m., and we will pick that caller to score that pair of tickets to check out Rob Schneider at Hard Rock Live on October 4th, courtesy of Live Nation. For more information, visit sacktownsports.com. So, Chris, do you think Sac State would become, I guess, the hope, right, is that Sac State would become one of these schools where, hey, even though I didn't go to Sac State or whatever it is, but I'm going to rep Sac State. I'm going to buy Sac State stuff. We're going to go check out games, even if we don't technically have, because, high schools are a little bit different to college, but even with college, you still feel, hey, it's the college that represents our city. Yeah. We're going to hold it down.
Yeah, I didn't go to Sac State. My sister graduated from there. My mom did, but she didn't graduate, but she went to Sac State. Mm-hmm. I don't really think that you need to have a tie. I feel like I would go to some games, maybe like was said there, maybe it would be a good opponent that would make me want to go out. But in general, also, I do think that there's a bit of the A's appeal to it as well, that we just haven't had the option here in town to really experience, I guess you could say, quote unquote, high level college football. And I think that would be the most exciting thing from a casual perspective. Absolutely. Of course, there's a ton of people out here who went to Sac State, graduated from Sac State, never left Sacramento, and still have a lot of love for Sac State and would definitely go support them. But I can't see why the city wouldn't embrace them a ton. And, I think that Davis is also very suspiciously quiet in this as well, because as we talk about Sac State needing all of these facility upgrades, UC Davis has some wonderful facilities, and their basketball arena, I don't know if it would be Pac-12 worthy, but it's definitely millions of times better than what Sac State's working with right now. So I think it's a bit strange that UC Davis has been pretty quiet in all of this. Maybe it's because, Davis is a little bit more of a they focus on agriculture. They focus on, vet schools and things like that. They maybe don't have as much of an athletic focus as what Sac State has. Maybe Sac State is more viewing this as, this is our opportunity to kind of get an identity. I don't think Sac State really has an identity as a school right now, besides being a commuter school, being a place where, hey, if you don't want to leave town after high school, there's always Sac State as an option. It's always kind of the fallback school to go to. Some people definitely prioritize it, but I think it would definitely make Sac State less of a backup option and more of a, hey, I can get exactly what I'm looking for here. I can get that big school feel while still being at Sac State and not have to go to San Diego State, to Cal. I mean, people go to Cal Poly to try and get more of that college-y feel. And I think it's more than available here at Sac State. And I think the Pac-12 definitely does that. But I feel like the Mountain West is really getting shorted in this entire conversation because if I'm being honest, I think the Mountain West is really more of the more realistic option. I think Pac-12
it's the name,
shooting
man.
for the stars. Yeah, no, that's what it is.
Well, I think what it is if I'm understanding this correctly, they'll just go to the Mountain West if the Pac-12 doesn't work out.
They still have to get invited.
I know. I know.
I think that's the implied hope, but I don't think it's a guarantee. And I think if I had to guess, I don't know how much the Mountain West would love Sac State calling the Sac 12. Like they are really pushing for Pac-12. I'm not saying anything here besides just maybe a thought that maybe the Mountain West wouldn't be super chill with just saying, oh, you were really campaigning for Pac-12, and just because you lost out on that, you just think that we're going to default give it to you. Maybe that won't be the case.
I have an opinion on why the Pac-12 Davis isn't making as big of a splash as Sac State is, and I think it's because Sac State has had some pretty I don't know about national attention, but more attention than Davis has gotten recently. You have Scatabo, right, going to Arizona and being kind of, a total stud there. You have Troy Taylor going to Stanford. He competed with Jason Garrett, the Cowboys ex-head coach, for that position. So I think those two things are enough to be like, whoa, all right. There's more too. I know Mapu got drafted by the Patriots.
Sure. I mean, yeah, their football program has taken leaps and bounds, but I mean, Davis's football program for the most part has been better than Sac State's program until maybe 5 to 7 years ago.
I think the biggest thing out of Davis,
that's just football,
is when it comes
their
to
basketball
football
program's much better than Sac State's is.
Yes, they are. But like the biggest thing Davis has done recently that I can think of, I may be totally wrong on this, embarrassing myself, but Keelan Doss going to the Raiders.
Yes.
Remember that? Like that was,
he was on Hard Knocks.
Yeah, he was on Hard Knocks with Gruden. And so I think Sac State is making a bigger splash for the public eye.
Yeah, 916 saying Sac State is really a commuter college, a commuter school. I don't.
That's how
think
it's viewed now. Yeah,
but I don't know that really matters. If I were to tell you a school, I don't know that they have football, but they're a historic basketball school. Would you think off the top of your head that St. John's is a commuter school?
Oh, I wouldn't have. I don't really know much about St. John's, but I know it's one of the it's one of the many New York schools, New York campus.
The answer is it is a commuter school.
Yeah, Manhattan.
Right. And that hasn't stopped them. St. John's has been around for a very long time. Big East, so a lot of these big schools, they're also commuter schools. I mean, Temple, and they're in the AAC. But, Temple, a lot of people coming from other parts of
St.
PA,
Mary's, right?
St. Mary's, so I don't think that – I think you're right, 916, but I don't think that Sac State being a commuter school matters that much in this conversation.
It's still a big school, too.
And you could argue that maybe more people live on campus once it becomes a part of the Pac-12.
They have built out the dorms, for
you know what I mean? Maybe they want to stay out there more. So I think that you're right, but I don't know how much it necessarily matters because there are a lot of schools that you might not realize are commuter schools and aren't necessarily, hey, we have 8,000 dorms.
Right.
There's always going to be dorm life, really every college besides the colleges that that are just literally remote. So, yeah, I think you're right, but I don't know how much that should affect it. I think it is.
I also know plenty of people who aren't from Sacramento that went to Sac. Like, it's not just a Sacramento commuter school either. Like, I have plenty of friends from the Bay Area, from Southern California that went to Sac State, chose Sac State as the school they want to go to. I don't think it's only a commuter school.
I think the thing about Sac State getting into the Pac-12, if they're able to pull it off, and Chris, your shout on the Mountain West maybe feeling a little salty. I don't think you're wrong. I think it's going to be a matter of whether the Mountain West can afford to be salty.
No, for sure.
They might say, we're the hand-me-downs or we're the leftovers, but we need you as much as you need us.
Yeah.
If you look at how most people, specifically in Northern California, look at schools, right? You have, and I have buddies that ended up in this situation. Okay, you don't really have you have your UCs, okay? Number 1 and 2, you have Cal and Stanford.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have the grades for Cal. You don't have the grades for Stanford. And then you start looking at all the other schools. You have state schools. I don't really want to go to San Jose State. It's too close. And again, what conference is it in? It's right down the street. Then you have the UC Davises of the world, the San Jose States of the world. I know people that have gone to schools in SoCal with no football team just because they wanted to move away and they wanted to check some of those boxes. And that box that they went to some beautiful schools down there, LMU, Pepperdine, a lot of beautiful schools down there. If Sac State is able to be really the answer to the kids who I can't get into Cal, I can't get into Stanford, I don't want to go to San Jose State. I don't mind going to San Jose State, but at that point, I'd rather just go down south, San Jose State, where they're at, and we'll see what happens with San Jose State and their hopes and dreams. They were pretty good not too long ago. But Sac State's an opportunity. It's a good school. It's Pac-12 football. I get that college community that I'm looking for. Right. That's a new option that they haven't had in the past. And a lot of these guys, or a lot of these students, end up going to SoCal and things like that, and kind of giving up on the specific football aspect. Because if you look at it, it was USC, UCLA, Cal, Stanford. Off top, those are the main ones. Those are the main ones. So if Sac State, and we'll see, what happens with San Jose State, if they enter the picture, I think that could really change the minds of kids that end up in random Southern California schools because they're like, okay, well, I want some type of experience. If I can't get the big football one, I'll just move farther away from home.
Yeah. No, and Sac State's really got to be about it too. You can't just get in the conference and then say, hey, we're here, we made it. Like, let's collect the revenue. No, if you want this thing to legitimately work, you're still going to have a really good product. You got to put the money towards the coaches. You got to get a great AD. You can't have, frankly, I hate to say it, but you can't have a situation, and I know it's just because that's how the situation is now, but you need to be able to create an environment where Troy Taylor doesn't have to leave. Troy Taylor says, no, this is a big enough program or in a big enough conference to where I can do what I want to do here. And it feels like, again,
at least for a longer period,
very necessary because he's FCS versus FBS, and Stanford clearly has more resources than Sac State right now. But I would think the goal should be to eventually get to a point to where the Troy Taylors who were, brought up here in Sacramento don't have to leave Sacramento to get what he wants to get.
Yeah, and there'll be you could be a stepping stone school, but it's just how long can you, hold on to your guys. Yeah. Coming up next, we close the book on the San Francisco Giants. They're ticking me off, man. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
The only place you'll find Malik Monk is Sacktown Sports.
Oh my, what an athletic move that time by Malik Monk.
Hey Sacramento, it's Malik Monk and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Who's ready for some fun on Saturday? Country in the Park 2 takes over Heart Health Park at Cal Expo with Dierks Bentley, Harmony, Sasha, plus line dancing and a mechanical bull, axe throwing, pop-up clothing stores, and food trucks. Tickets start as low as $52 at CITPfest.com. Grab your family and join us for Country in the Park 2 this Saturday at Heart Health Park. More at CITPfest.com.
Brought to you by A&A Concrete Supply, Folsom Hotel, and Corbell, California, Champaign.
Model year-end pricing is back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
During the model year-end event, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make lower payments. It's no wonder why Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check out our entire inventory online at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
The PGA Club Fitters at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio know that golf should be fun. They also know that players of all abilities will hit the ball farther and straighter, play better golf, shoot lower scores, and have more fun if they get fitted before they purchase golf clubs. Hagen Oaks delivers the same technology and major brands used to fit PGA and LPGA professionals. See how the game can be even more fun. Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio fittings are available 7 days a week. Make yours today by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531.
Insurance companies perform a very valuable service, but they want to keep their money. Although most cases settle before trial, it is paramount that the insurance companies know that if pressed, your legal team has the experience to take your case all the way. For 25 years, Ashton & Price has earned the reputation that if the insurance company isn't fair, we're ready to force them to be fair. My mom used to warn me, wait till dad gets home. Think of us as dad. The best part, there's no fee until we win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Hey, everybody, it's your boy Kyle Draper from Mercedes-Benz of Stockton.
Recently, I was at the dealership, and I had to get a look at their Sprinter vans up close and personal. And boy, was I blown away. One of the first things I noticed was the Mercedes star in the front. So you know it's made with the same premium quality Mercedes-Benz is known for. Plus, their Sprinter vans are fully customizable. So if you want to use it for your business, maybe you want to go on a camping trip, or even hauling your kids and their teammates to sporting events around town, they can set it up for you. From vans to box trucks to RVs to even limos, it's a one-stop shop. Don't believe me? Well, go see for yourself. Give the Mercedes-Benz Sprinter van a test drive at Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. You won't be disappointed. It's just a short drive down I-5 off of 8 Mile Road, or anytime at mbofstockton.com. That's mbofstockton.com. And while you're there, tell me your boy Drape sent you.
When I want to stretch out after a long day, my sofa needs to be comfortable, but it also needs to look attractive and inviting when guests come to visit. Hi, I'm Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. We spend so much time on our living room sofas that we forget they're a focal point and a hint to our decorating tastes. Right now, during Naturewood Home Furnishings sofa sale, you can save on every sofa, including gallery-exclusive custom-ordered flex steel furniture. Whether you're interested in a new sofa, sectional, or recliner, you can choose from hundreds of colors and fabrics. Nobody has more styles and choices than Naturewood Home Furnishings. And when it comes right down to it, it's all about choices and always about quality. Shop Naturewood for the look you love at a price you'll love even more. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings right now for this remarkable sofa sale. Off Highway 50 at Hazel, look for the water wheel.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sacktown Sports.
Now's the time to move on over. If you want to move on up and get those Rob Schneider tickets, Rob Schneider returns to Sacramento for a night of nonstop laughs. And of course, Sacktown Sports wants you in the building. Hit up the Folsom Lake Honda hotline at 1 p.m. Nate will pick that number. We will pick a winner to score that pair of tickets. Check out Rob Schneider at Hard Rock Live on October 4th, courtesy of Live Nation. For more information, visit sacktownsports.com. Chris, the Giants just doing things that are just incredibly annoying to Giants fans. And, I feel like they do this. Apparently, this is a Bob Melvin thing. The same thing happened with the Padres. We'll have to ask Whitey about it a little bit later as the Padres do clinch the playoffs. The Giants are just fully in spoiler mode, Chris. Yesterday, they beat the Diamondbacks, the defending National League champion Diamondbacks, 11-0. They beat the Diamondbacks. Before that, they're on a 5-game winning streak, Chris. They beat the Royals. They beat the Royals 3 times. They swept the Royals. And they've now beaten the Diamondbacks 6-3 and 11-0. And personally, Chris, I'm not even being sarcastic when I say this. This is to do this after you're mathematically eliminated is actually more disrespectful to the fans than just stinking. It is actually more disrespectful to the fans.
Oh, so you just had it in you this whole time. You just decided not to bring it out, right? Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So we have some sound. Bob Melvin was asked about this, and basically Bob Melvin, he doesn't know what to say. He has no clue what to say. Here's the actual numbers before we get to Bob Melvin. This is from our guy Alex Pavlovich. The Giants won 11-0. They have won 5 straight since getting eliminated, their longest streak since last July. They're back at 500 with 4 games to go. Crazy. You had the Chapman in the Parker a couple nights ago, and now this. Let's hear from Bob Melvin as he's asked, and he really just has no answer. Here it is.
Is it wasted energy to wonder where has this been?
You know what? It's hard to put a finger on that. Things happen for a reason. Somehow, we're getting a lot of guys, younger guys, getting ready for next year at this point in time too. So you can lament all you want about it, but you'd rather have it happening now than not, put it that way.
He's not wrong. Sure. I mean, I'm annoyed at just the situation, but he's not. What I don't know, to be fair, and I've been pretty hard on Bob Melvin this year. What is he supposed to say?
Exactly.
There's nothing that he can say.
Better late than never, but never late is better, I guess, is all that you really can say. I mean, I'm sure he's just as frustrated as everybody else because he's like, guys, like, you really could have saved us a lot of headaches here.
Yeah.
We could have just played like this a couple months ago. I mean, yeah, it's incredibly frustrating. And, I guess I understand what he's saying. I do understand what he's saying. It's absolutely better to go into the offseason maybe feeling like you're building towards something than feeling like, you just kind of stumbled through the finish line. But, it's just really frustrating when you finish at 500 or around 500 and then you feel like, man, if we just would have played like this, who knows? You could have been in the race. You could have given yourself a better chance. It's got to be incredibly frustrating.
Yeah, as we get into the Farhan conversation, he sat down with some of the Giants media and writers. And basically, Chris, when he was asked where things went wrong, a lot of it he put on the pitching. He just said, we looked at the pitching as a strength, and when certain guys weren't healthy, it just didn't work out. He said, we've talked some about how, particularly from a pitching standpoint, it got off to a tough start. And I feel like that's something that we felt was a strength for us. And we were kind of playing catch up with it all season. When he was asked about the future for him with the Giants, he said it's been a disappointing season, even with this recent play. And anytime you have a disappointing season, it's my job to evaluate everything in my purview, and it's ownership's job to evaluate everything in my purview, plus me, Zaidi said during a session with the team's beat writers before Tuesday's game at Chase Field. I think that process is happening, and I understand it. You look around baseball, and there are other teams in the same boat as us that have playoff aspirations that didn't happen, and they're trying to figure out what went wrong and how to be better, and I'm still very committed to that. So with that being said, Chris, I ask you and all the Giants fans out there, this question just comes from just somebody on Giants Twitter, Bay Area Trev. Ask the question, would you rather have Blake Snell sign an extension or Farhan Zaidi fired?
Shoot. I mean, dang. I kind of feel like you'd rather get Farhan gone and just kind of wash your hands of the situation. And, maybe you can find not necessarily the next Blake Snell, but maybe you can find a nice little discount version of it. And I know maybe Giants fans are cringing hearing, oh, no, let's not penny pinch anymore. Discount. But I would say probably Farhan getting out of there. You want that, hey, one player is great, but if you can build a whole team around it, I think that's a lot better. And I think it's clear from these years of Farhan, he got 1 year of lightning in a bottle. And besides that, it's been very, very average 500 teams. And I think it's been time for somebody else to be in that seat. And, I don't think you should just kind of bring it along another year just because you're not 100% certain that he's not the right guy.
Yeah, I'm torn on this one. I don't want to, because the cop-out is sign Snell and then fire Farhan next season. Of course,
right? But that wasn't the question.
That's the cop-out. Or somebody could say that's what I would want in my mind. Chris, I really do like Snell, but to be completely honest with you, the guy with the lack of, his splits have just been kind of awful because he's just very much a later season pitcher. And that's why his accolades aren't exactly where they should be, because he gets going later in the season. That's who he is. That's what he does. I honestly think that, especially with some of the injury history he's had, I think a lot of people, when I'm reading the comments, a lot of people, it's torn. A lot of people are saying Snell. I think I might have to say Farhan. I'm
surprised that Giants fans aren't burned at this point of paying pitchers a crazy amount of money for a lot of years.
I went into this segment thinking that the answer was Snell, but how you kind of laid things out and the way that Snell to me is just a roller coaster in himself, right? And then he was
in Sacramento twice, 2 different times.
Yeah, and you're gonna have to throw him a bag, and you still have Farhan. We had Snell this season, and you missed the playoffs, right? And he pitched outstanding. Yep. And there's been a long time since he's kind of done this throughout the whole season. So I think by Farhan. I think it's not by Felicia. I think it's by Farhan. That's what I would say. Coming up next, we have our giveaway. For Rob Schneider tickets, switch on over if you are on the app, and our top stories at the top of the hour. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sacktown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Fox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sacktown Sports and SacktownSports.com.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
For most of the people that walk in our store, it's been an ongoing, nonstop issue, and they're finally walking into the Good Feet store. Okay, the guy that came into my store last year that has had plantar fasciitis for 30 years. I looked at him, I said, "Are you kidding me? I've been here for 14. Where have you been?" I helped relieve a problem that's plagued him for 30 years. I mean, how do you not go home and talk about that?
Come to the Good Feet store now for a free fitting and test walk.
You've seen him on the roast of Tom Brady, and you've heard him host the #1 podcast in the world, Kill Tony. Now see Tony Hinchcliffe perform stand-up comedy live at the venue at Thunder Valley, Friday, October 11th. The man behind millions of views worldwide and countless sold-out shows brings his stand-up set to you, Tony Hinchcliffe. Critics call him a must-see. Don't miss this stand-up comedian, writer, podcast host, and professional wordsmith live in Sacramento. Tony Hinchcliffe. Get tickets at ThunderValleyResort.com.
What's going on? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram. Chad, what's happening for Jeep Adventure Days?
Right now, save up to $12,000 off MSRP on new 2023 Dodge Charger SXTs, starting as low as $28,715. These are some of the most fun cars you'll ever drive, and there's just a handful left, so don't wait and miss your chance.
Any other big deals?
Save money and gas when you save up to $17,000 off MSRP on all remaining new 2023 Jeep Grand Cherokee 4xEs, which get up to 56 MPGE.
Don't miss this savings. See their full inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet. Period.
12,000 total net savings after 3420 factory rebates and 8580 dealer discount. Rebates may include 500 trade-in assistance. Must have qualifying trade-in. 17,000 total net savings after 4250 factory rebates and 12,750 dealer discount. Rebates include 3750 federal EV tax credit offered by third party, subject to change without notice. Consult a tax professional for eligibility. 580 net savings. See dealer for details.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
Since you probably can't afford your own sports psychologist, Golf Monthly's Fergus Bissett offers 5 golf psychology tips to help you play better. First, stay in the present. If your mind is ahead of you, how can you focus on the shot at hand? Second, every shot is a new challenge. The objective of every shot is to get the ball in the hole in the least amount of strokes. Go do it. 3, the past is the past. Many of us dwell on the past. Not good. Clear your mind and move on to the next shot. 4, never surrender. Some give up on their rounds too quickly. Your fortunes on the course can change with one swing or one decent break. Lastly, stay positive on the greens. If you're having one of those days where the putts don't drop, focus on the positives. If you're putting on your intended line, that's a good thing. Keep it up and they'll begin to fall. And remember, it's a game, so go out there and have some fun. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Who's ready for some fun on Saturday? Country in the Park 2 takes over Heart Health Park at Cal Expo with Dierks Bentley.
What was I thinking?
Marmalade. Plus line dancing and a mechanical bull, axe throwing, pop-up clothing stores, and food trucks. Tickets start as low as $52 at CITPfest.com. Grab your family and join us for Country in the Park 2 this Saturday at Heart Health Park. More at CITPfest.com.
Brought to you by A&A Concrete Supply, Folsom Hotel, and Corval, California, Champaign.
new Honda? Well, it was like this. My mom was driving me to school when, bam, our car started smoking. My mom wasn't happy, so she called my dad and said, honey, if you value your life and our marriage, you will take care of this now. So my dad calls up Stockton Honda and was like, can you get me approved for a new car and save my marriage? And they're all, sure, Mr. Jones, we do this every day. And just like that, Stockton Honda to the rescue. StocktonHonda.com.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sacktown Sports 1140.
Sacktown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
It is time. Now, someone's been waiting all day for this. Here's your opportunity to win tickets. See Rob Schneider. Rob Schneider returns to Sacramento for a night of nonstop laughs. And, of course, Sacktown Sports wants you in the building. Hit up the Folsom Lake Honda hotline right now. Looking for caller number.
In honor of my fifth favorite Rob Schneider movie, Deuce Bigelow, caller number 5.
Caller number 5. Caller number 5. 916.
Oh, next time. There's 2 of them. There's two Deuce Bigelow.
916-339-1140. 916-339-1140. 916-339-1140. Caller number 5.
I'm going to go home.
Hit up the Folsom Lake Honda hotline right now looking for caller number 5 to score that pair of tickets. Check out Rob Schneider at Hard Rock Live on October 4th, courtesy of Live Nation. For more information, visit sacktownsports.com. Nate is handling them now as the calls come in. Let's get to the top stories at the top of the day. We're going to start with this one, Chris, as Nate handles the phone lines. We have some sound on a different one, but we're going to start with this one. I am very confused. So here is a situation, and I know, there might be some get off my lawn. If you're a get off my lawn person, I kind of agree with you today because this is very confusing. So UNLV starting quarterback QB Matthew Sluka has announced that he will be redshirting for the rest of the season and transferring following an NIL dispute. The Rebels are currently 3-0, and I'm wondering where's Guy Fieri with this money to hook this guy up. And Sluka hasn't been that good, Chris, but the team has been winning. The whole thing is extremely confusing, okay? So we've seen a couple different reports. You have Bleacher Report reporting from Pete Thamel that UNLV QB is out for the season, and in parentheses, NIL. First time you've ever seen that before. He was reportedly verbally offered $100K by an assistant coach to transfer from Holy Cross, but UNLV showed, in quotes, no effort to finalize a contract. Sluka stepped down despite a 3-0 start after only receiving $3K for relocation. His rep says he didn't ask for more than the original $100,000, and now you
and all he got was $3K?
All he got was $3K.
Oh my God.
Now you have Ross Dellinger of Yahoo Sports saying Rob Sine, CEO of Blueprint Sports, which operates UNLV's collective, tells Yahoo that the collective never agreed to a $100K deal with Matthew Sluka. It made a payment of $3,000 to Sluka, and we're discussing a monthly payment of $3K before the QB's decision this week. That's completely different than what we're hearing. Ross goes on to say Sluka's agent, Marcus Cromartie of Equity Sports, first introduced himself via email to UNLV collective officials in late August. Sign says Cromartie wrote to officials that he was seeking more NIL opportunities through the collective for his client. However, Sign said Cromartie is not a registered agent in the state of Nevada. Because of this, he advised Cromartie and Sluka to discuss the situation directly with the coaching staff until Cromartie's registered in the state. Sign says he has email exchanges with Cromartie. Yeah, crazy. So real quick, Chris, Marcus Cromartie confirms to Yahoo that here's the problem, nothing was signed, but that coaches promised $100K to Sluka during recruitment.
Just terrible, man. Like, I kind of don't care about the logistics, because the part that's getting lost in this, and it's going to just continue to get more and more lost, is this guy's a kid. Like, I don't care if he's a fifth-year senior or anything like that. Yeah. Like, he's still a kid that's going to college. Like, can we not just, it seems like a bunch of adults that kind of got a loophole around a high school or a college senior, and they're like, oh, we were discussing, we never officially agreed. And it sounds like there was probably maybe a handshake deal, maybe an under the table agreement where something was, but it wasn't officially on paper. I guess it's a unfortunate lesson in, hey, if it's not on paper and it's not signed, don't take anybody at their word, because they can go back on it at any time. Yes. And there's really not much you can do besides what he's doing. It's really confusing. I guess we'll still have to wait for like an official wording from both sides to figure out the full picture of it. But from the information we know now, I feel bad for the kid. It just sounds like he was promised something that just was never actually going to happen. And, I guess it's a bit on him as well. He has to take some responsibility for it. But it just, to me, seems like this is going to be the future of this NIL thing. Is it's going to get murky, and there's going to be things that are said but not 100% agreed to. And I think there's going to be a lot of disputes like this. This is just crazy. I was not expecting it to be this extreme. We're in week 3, and he said, I'm done. Like, I'm not doing the rest of the season without my money.
Yeah, redshirting, then leaving. That's got to be a bit awkward on campus. For sure. Just do online classes. Cromartie, the agent, goes on to say the collective may not have agreed to $100K, but the coaches did. And I got to put some blame pie on Cromartie, because if you're an agent and you're having your kid, what it sounds like to me, Chris, is that Sluka probably didn't have that many offers. The UNLV offer blew him out the window.
Also hasn't played well this year.
Well, there you go. And was willing to take a chance on UNLV, saying, hey, where they're telling me this stuff. If you have 200K deals and one is in writing, there's no way you go to UNLV. So it sounds like the agent said, you might as well take this. It's more money than anybody is. I don't know this, but if you're moving and nothing is in, the number one thing an agent will tell you is that something has to be in writing.
Yes.
That's a number one job of an agent, unless the kid said, I'm willing to go and I trust that they're going to get me my money, and they didn't get you your money. Yeah. And now he's off somewhere else going. So he's now from Holy Cross. Now he was at UNLV, and we'll see where he ends up next. This one goes out to Whitey Gleason. The Padres turn a triple play, and they clinch a playoff spot with the W. Here is how it sounded.
They come in again. Ball grounded right to Machado. Steps in the back for one. To second. On to first. A triple play to end the game.
Outstanding.
I think they're going to look at the play.
Yeah, they looked at it and it stood. It was a triple play.
Look at it some more.
So shout out to, I can't believe this, I'm saying this, shout out to the Padres. Man.
The Dodgers at least.
Yeah, they beat the Dodgers. And I still need to get out there to Petco.
You've never been?
No.
Oh, it's so nice.
I just don't think I'll come back.
So nice.
I'm just afraid I won't come back.
Their dog food selection's amazing. You said you need to get out to Petco. Okay.
Oh.
Never mind.
Dad joke. You sure you?
That was tough.
Yeah. Father figure. Okay.
Almost thought you were making an animal eating joke there.
I thought the food at the park.
You just said
for
never
food.
mind,
Anyways,
man.
no, there you go.
It's okay. An air ball's just as funny.
Play the sound for yourself.
Which
play
one?
The dang
the
sound.
Larry David sound.
Yeah.
Oh, that's usually for something else, but
it's fine. No, it's fine. We got it there.
There you go. Next, that sound should be also used for the Pirates. Rowdy Tellez, Sacramento guy, by the way. Rowdy Tellez had 421 plate appearances this season. He needed 4 more to cash a $200,000 incentive. The Pirates DFA'd him before he could do that. They DFA'd him yesterday. And Rowdy Tellez, who's been very outspoken on certain things, I'm sure will be on one of what is it, Chris? Foul territory. Pleading his case. Jeff Passan, kind of talking about how the Pirates just did him dirty. That type of stuff. We were just talking about agents and things like that, Chris. That type of stuff should be. I don't know if it can be illegal,
right?
But feels like it should be.
It should be. That's so trash.
In some way.
You use this guy for the entire year, and then you're just going to let him go last minute just so you don't have to pay him a little bit. Like it's not hurting your bottom line at all. I mean, come on, what are you talking about? That's the kind of thing where it's such easy brownie points too. Like it's just such an easy thing to allow him to do. And it's crazy that it's not even just like you could have done this, behind the scenes just by sitting him, telling the manager, hey, don't play rowdy. And it still would have been talked about maybe a little bit, but to straight up cut him and not leave any sort of window for opportunity. It just really shows that the Pirates probably not the best organization. And it's the kind of thing that really people don't forget.
And last but not least, Shohei Ohtani's 50-50 home run ball has been co-signed to Collectibles Marketplace. Golden and bidding will begin Friday. Ohtani on Thursday, literally Friday, we heard from the guy. He contacted Golden on his own through social media, flew a security guard down to Miami on Monday with a representative from Golden, met him, flew back Monday. I have no clue, Chris. I'm not good at this stuff. I know we have the card show, but I'm not good at collectibles. We had the collectible guy on in Vegas.
Yes.
I don't know. What's this thing going to go for? Millions? 1 million.
The opening bid on eBay is currently set at $500,000. Okay. Prospective buyers will have a chance to purchase the baseball outright for $4.5 million exclusively between September 27th and October 9th. If bidding reaches $3 million prior to October 9th, however, the option to purchase privately will no longer be available. The interested parties must compete and bid for the baseball. Bidding begins, extended bidding would begin at on October 16th. So if anybody out there has a spare $500,000 or $3 million, you can potentially buy Shohei's 50-50 ball.
I could call 3 billionaires right
now. Yeah.
Coming up next, as summer comes to a close or has come to a close, let's have one more fun summer conversation as we don't police fandom, but maybe you do. There is a picture, if you're on YouTube, that Nate is going to post. We're going to have some fun with this. And if you're driving or you're not watching on YouTube, we will describe it to you. And we want everybody to be a part of this conversation, fair or foul, on what this guy is wearing. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Our first year as the radio home of the San Francisco 49ers is one we will never forget.
And here's Purdy going to throw one deep, wide for Debo. Made the catch on the back shoulder. Touchdown! San Francisco!
And a back shoulder banger for Debo Samuel.
Congratulations to the 49ers on a terrific year. And thank you for so many wonderful memories.
Model Year End pricing is back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
During the Model Year End event, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make lower payments. It's no wonder why Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check out our entire inventory online at folsomlakehonda.com.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at folsomlakehonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
It's a myth to think you don't play golf well enough to get fitted for golf clubs. The professionals at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio would argue that playing the game with golf clubs properly fitted to your body and swing characteristics is the best way to improve your game and have more fun on the golf course. With a professional staff of fitters, all the major brands of equipment, and cutting-edge technology featuring TrackMan, the indoor-outdoor Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio is worth a look. See for yourself, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway. Schedule your fitting at 916-808-2531, 808-2531.
Time to check out Capital Casino, conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
Sacktown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Got some Niner updates. We're trying to. Things are starting to come out now from Santa Clara. People are saying it's a very interesting presser. Obviously, we'll break down more. We'll break down more of it tomorrow when we have more time because we have crosstalk coming up at 1:45. But yeah, some players that didn't play. People asking about Jacob Cowing again. So we will have some of that for you at 1:30. And then, of course, the Drive guys will have even more of it for you during their show. So Nate has put this on the YouTube, and we are going to have some fun with this because the basketball season is around the corner, and I don't know how much time we're going to get to do segments like this, guys. This is a picture that just popped up, and if you're driving, we're going to explain it to you. So this guy has on some khaki shorts. He's got on some white shoes. He is wearing a Dodger jersey with a Niners Flava Flav chain, a Niners hat. He's holding a Niners flag in his left hand and what looks to be some type of Dodgers towel in his other hand. And somebody posted this and said, this is the dumbest kind of fan. Somebody else reposted it and said, the dumbest kind of fan is thinking that a fan has to be based on geography. Now, these are two teams. I definitely don't like the Dodgers at all. And I know there are a lot of Dodgers, Niners fans out there. Nate, Chris, do you have any problems with it? And he's also modeling it in some weird way. Hey, babe, come take a picture of me. And he's got a Niners flag behind him on the fence, and he's got a Dodgers flag behind him on the other fence. So, guys, any issues with this picture, or should we just not police fandom and let people mind their business?
It's very confusing for sure. I guess it's kind of fine for me. Like I know, Northern versus Southern California and things like that, but it doesn't feel the most egregious to me. I mean, I guess the argument is that you should be a Niner Giants fan, and to be a Dodger would be the complete opposite, but it doesn't. I mean, let's not forget here, Niners are still a really big brand too.
Yeah.
And I think there's a chance that this guy we don't even know if he's from California. He could be from anywhere really. And maybe he's just like a Cowboys Lakers fan or something like that. I definitely think the Dodgers and the Niners are two big enough franchises to where I don't think it's crazy. And like you said, I feel like I've heard people before be Niner and Dodger fans.
Yeah, I'm just kind of confused. And I need somebody to help me. And I'm going to ask someone to reveal themselves here, because I know for a fact that there are some Dodgers Niners fans in Sacramento, and I know some of you listen to this show. And if you would be so kind, 916-339 to call in.
One used to work here.
Why in a place like Sacramento would that matter? Because you have no ties to San Francisco.
No, it doesn't matter. I just want to know how it happens. I want to know.
Jay Mars was. He was very open about it.
Exactly,
Why?
Yeah. I mean, why is anyone a Dodger? I don't know.
Do I need to call him?
I didn't know if there was a reason, because there are a lot of what is it? A's or Raiders, Dodgers completely understand. That one's the obvious one. I'm not understanding where the Niners come into play, or if did you just pick? Are you in LA and you just pick the Niners? I think you're not understanding, Chris. There are a lot of Dodgers Niners fans.
Yes.
That's why I'm asking the question as to whether there's a reason. I'm not picking random combinations.
No, I know. I think everyone's got their own independent reason. Like, I'm a Vikings Kings fan. Like, I think everybody, he might have grown up and maybe his cousin, his uncle is or a lot of people. I don't know. I mean, I don't really know what answer you're looking for.
I think a lot of times at young ages too, people base their favorite team off their favorite player. And, if his favorite player was on the Dodgers in the, early 90s, late 90s, and then if you're from the Bay or vice versa, you're from LA, you love Steve Young.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out if it was any less bandwaggy than I think it is. Because what it sounds like to me, as I'm looking, I'm looking at some of these comments, really. I mean, the Niners were good in the 90s. So, there are a lot. I guess we talk so much about the Cowboys bandwagon. Maybe we need to talk more about the Niners bandwagon. Maybe that's
what I'm saying. Is that brand is really big.
Yeah, maybe that's where this conversation started. It's just two bandwagon fan bases: the Dodgers and the Niners.
I feel like bandwagoning.
I thought there might have been a reason.
I don't know. I don't have an answer for that. But bandwagoning happens if it happens locally near the team. I think it goes under the radar a lot easier. Like you could sneak it in. Rather than if I wanted to jump on the Vikings bandwagon right now, it'd be pretty obvious what I was doing.
Yeah, and
we're here.
Someone 916 says, my buddy is a Dodger and Niner fan. He's from Bakersfield. Makes sense. Yeah, just choose who's playing well.
I mean, in the middle too.
Yeah, well, and also, I guess is the main thing, guys, and maybe I'm missing the biggest part of this. LA has kind of been in and out as far as having a team. Maybe that's what this is. So you're a Dodger fan. The Rams, they come and go. The Raiders, they come and go.
Right.
And the Niners, they're up north, and they've always been there. So maybe that's what it is. And once you join a team, like we say, you can, or like I say, you can bandwagon, but just don't go anywhere. So maybe we figured this out. Maybe we figured this out.
It's the red and blue that's so confusing.
It's crazy, though.
It's clashing, yeah. And then I see that blue. It's the same blue as the new Rams, too. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
I don't like it, but I'm not, furious about it. I'm also not a big baseball head.
I would just assume that there are more, based on what I just explained, there are way more Dodgers Niner fans from LA.
Sure.
Than Dodgers Niner fans that are from the Bay and just chose to like the Dodgers. I can't, and specifically because these last couple years, or I guess it's been almost a decade, or it's been a decade now, the Giants have been better. So even if you were going to bandwagon, you could bandwagon, to Nate's point, back to where your home state is. It just looks weird to me, guys. And I still, by the way, that house that I always pass, the Cowboys Niners flag house, they need a new flag. It's getting worn down, and I'm wondering if they're going to get a crispy one with both teams playing under expectation. Speaking of the Niners, we have not necessarily their full injury update, but their practice list, and got some more news coming out of Santa Clara as well. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out SacktownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SacktownSports.com.
When is the best time to buy a new air conditioning system? Right now with Bell Brothers' end of summer clear-out sale. You'll get up to $2,700 off a top-of-the-line AC system. Plus, no payments or interest for 1 year for qualified buyers. Call Bell Brothers now at 916-444-1234 or go online to thenosurpriseguys.com because we only have a limited number of new top-of-the-line AC systems. And when they're gone, this offer is over. Need more info? Call us. Estimates and second opinions are always free. So call now for up to $2,700 off a new premium AC system. And no payments or interest for 1 year. Plus, if you call now, we'll throw in your choice of a free smart thermostat or indoor air purification system. But you have to call Bell Brothers now at 916-444-1234 or online at thenosurpriseguys.com. Remember, end of summer is the best time to buy and save on a new AC system. Thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
It's your boy Drapes, Kyle Draper from Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. I just love my new Mercedes-Benz EQS SUV. You know, I used to have a Tesla for a number of years, but it felt like I was sitting at the kids' table. When I got my Mercedes-Benz EQS SUV, I finally felt like I had made it. I was sitting at the adult table. If you don't believe me, go test drive one for yourself. As soon as you hop in, you'll notice the comfort, the luxury, just the overall feel. Make the short drive down I-5 to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton or go online anytime at mbofstockton.com.
Good morning, Doctor. Doctor? Hi, Doctor. Doctor?
Dr. Jackson's practice is growing.
What do you mean we're still short-staffed?
He needs a good patient doctor.
How do we not have enough doctors to doctor all these patients?
And he doesn't have the patience to sift through hundreds of resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's gotta be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
The PGA club fitters at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio know that golf should be fun. They also know that players of all abilities will hit the ball farther and straighter, play better golf, shoot lower scores, and have more fun if they get fitted before they purchase golf clubs. Hagen Oaks delivers the same technology and major brands used to fit PGA and LPGA professionals. See how the game can be even more fun. Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio fittings are available 7 days a week. Make yours today by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531. If you're not looking for a brand new car, at Elk Grove Honda, we've acquired some of the best pre-owned cars we can find. We've kept only the best of our trades, and our buyer has found some of the finest pre-owned Hondas available in Northern California. You can see for yourself at elkgrovehonda.com. Whether you purchase a brand new Honda or a like-new pre-owned Honda, your car buying experience will be the same. We have the right Honda at the right price. You'll find us in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 and Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts for the power, performance, and reliability of a new Super Start battery. Visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you know that these days, generating growth is a challenge. By teaming with Bank of America, you'll not just stay ahead of the curve, you'll move it. With access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2024 Bank of America N.A.
John Legend here. How do I keep my protection against COVID-19 up to date with a COVID shot this season?
You can get your COVID-19 shot when getting your flu shot if you're due for both, as recommended by the CDC. Ask your healthcare provider and book at vaxassist.com.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
This is Sacktown Sports.
So we had a call, and the person who called told us that he knows this guy. I don't know, Chris, is he just, why does he have so many followers? Is he an artist, you said? Or he's just
a content creator.
This guy is a content creator, the Dodgers Niners guy, and somebody called saying that he knew him. And yeah, just kind of gave a quick background on who he is. So Chris and I went to his Instagram, and not only is that picture that we posted on the YouTube, and if you have been driving around, basically it was a guy wearing a combination of a Dodgers jersey with a Niners hat and a Niners and Dodgers flag behind him. And basically it wasn't just a picture. It was a whole video with a smoke machine, and the caption was when baseball season and football season collide or something like that. So this guy is just out here making videos, and we asked the question, does it make sense? These Dodgers Niners folk out here. Look, I do understand more now that I think about it, with the Raiders gone and the Rams here and there, and nobody really likes the Chargers even in LA. So I understand it more. It just still bothers me because obviously I just can't stand the Dodgers. Chris from the 916, Rams and Giants fan here from Sac. Rancho Mice had that to say. So Rams and Giants, that's another interesting combo. That's an interesting combo because obviously the Rams, St. Louis, they've bounced around. So
it's the inverse.
Yes, that's an interesting one. So let us know. Like I said, Chris is, open about where he's at. Kings. Well, Chris, what are we doing? Do you not claim a baseball team? You don't have to.
Really, no. I wouldn't say I claim one now.
And Nate, I know you don't claim one.
I kind of claim the A's, like if someone asked me, because when I started working here, I was board opping A's games a lot. So, you watch a lot.
How it happened for me.
Yeah, you kind of fall into it.
So both of you lean more A's.
Yeah. And I feel like it wouldn't be very cool if I lean Giants. But also, I kind of like the A's.
Chris?
Yeah, I mean, I just say that I rooted for the Giants when they were winning, and then when they stopped, couldn't care less. And,
sure.
I started like Nate. I mean, I was board opping in the years where they had Olsen, Simeon. It was the year that they traded for Marte halfway through. And I was like, these guys are sick. Like, this is everything I wanted the Giants to be.
Chapman.
And I just had too many A's fans in my actual life telling me, yeah, just the joy from afar.
Yeah.
You don't want to actually commit to these guys. And it was the right choice.
Right.
So I just kind of stay neutral.
Now we have people coming in, and Chris is going to be out
now it's
tomorrow.
Just everybody telling us their fandom.
But I don't mind that. This is, like I said, it's almost, the season's here. We're not going to have time for this, Chris. And you're not in tomorrow. Okay, so
why are you not an A's fan? That's a good question. That's something that we've never asked you, I don't think. Because you even today you even repped Oakland.
From the 916, Kings and Raiders and A's. Yeah, it's very simple. I've told this story before, but I'll tell it again. My mom worked in the
story once.
Now, is that sarcasm?
It was.
I can sense that, young Padawan. Is Luke Skywalker's birthday.
Mark
Hamill.
Best Joker.
I also was going to say that. Anyways, why are you a Giants fan, not an A's fan?
I'm a Giants fan, and first of all, it's not that I'm not an A's fan. I got love. I'm E40. I want to be the radio E40. I'm the radio E40. I can like who I like. But I would say that I am a Giants fan simply because my mom worked in the city, and she got plenty of Giants tickets. Went to see my first Giants game. JT Snow hit a home run. We waited outside where everybody was leaving, saw Dusty Baker leave on his motorcycle, and I said, yeah, this is my team.
This is it.
This is my team.
So why Raiders then?
Raiders
and not Niners.
Yeah, Raiders is because we had a neighbor, and the neighbor, they were hard. My parents have no affiliation, right? Mom from Panama, she just roots for Panama in the World Cup or whatever it is. And my dad is not big into football, from Chicago, but just not big into football. So we had nobody. And one of our close friends at the time, neighbors, they were hardcore Raider fans, and during that time, that was when Raiders went to the Super Bowl and lost to the Bucks. That is, we went to Raiders tailgates and things all the time. So crazy. I'm one of the only Raiders Giants fans that exists.
Yeah, that's incredible. I mean, see, and you have like legitimate reasons too, which is great. Like, I mean, I wish I had like an actual story. Like, I mean, my dad has a story.
That's a good.
My story is my dad liked that team, and so I like that team too.
That's right. The 916 Kings, Raiders, and A's. I mean, that's pretty. See,
that's
when I think
by the book.
Yeah.
What's funny is when I thought of Sacramento before I moved out here, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
I guess it's Niners over. It's Niners over Raiders out here.
So,
I understand that. But that's kind of where I thought it fell, and I really didn't know about Giants A's. Someone else, guys. Oh, this is from the 209. What do we do with this? 209.
Okay.
Dubs. That's the Warriors.
Yeah.
Dubs, A's, Rams. Was a Raider fan until they left.
Okay.
I switched to honor my late father-in-law's Rams, Renee from the 209. So I'm reading that as it goes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, Renee,
that's more than a great
Oh,
reason.
yeah, that's great. That's the best one.
Yeah, that's like an actual reason.
Yeah, that's
absolutely.
the best one so far. 916. Okay, I know, Chris. Chris is saying, do this tomorrow when I'm not in.
No, it's fine.
916, Raiders, Kings, Dodgers. Get out. Get out now. So what? Are you in LA? Did you move here from LA?
Raiders, Kings, Dodgers.
Yeah. Did you move here from LA? 916. What's the deal there?
Yeah, that one's confusing me. That's because that's just all over the map.
Well, it's I mean, Raiders.
Yeah, like you said, maybe
Raiders
there's
and Dodgers
LA,
make sense,
right?
And then you moved.
But
to
you would have
Sacramento.
done Lakers. You would have done Lakers.
Yeah.
You would have.
Clippers.
It is surprising.
If you got here in the early
Clippers
2000s,
fans?
no. Who could have stopped that?
Can we
Clippers
find? Can we find a Clippers
Sacramento.
Chargers fan?
Not in
Oh
Sacramento.
man.
Anywhere.
0% chance.
Yeah.
Oh,
Didn't
maybe
Snoop
Clipper
Dogg,
Darrell or something. I
Snoop
don't
Dogg
know.
one time went through a list of like what LA fans like the most,
Was
and
it
it was like
USC was really high?
he put like the Clippers under the not the Sun.
What, UCLA or something?
Yeah. He had them like way down 10 underneath the Sparks even.
Wow.
Like, yeah.
Hey, we'll keep them coming in a couple more minutes, and we'll continue this conversation tomorrow. Chris will be boots on the ground in Oakland for that last game. Chris, don't steal any seats. Don't come back.
I will not. And I'm looking at the Snoop Dogg list for what it's worth. He posted Lakers, UCLA basketball, Sparks, USC basketball, the Westchester Comets, all Drew League teams, YMCA Junior Lakers, the pickup teams at Venice Beach, number 9, the Clippers.
Those pickup teams are nasty though.
They are. They really are.
Venice Beach hoops, no joke.
Real quick, guys, for Kyle Shanahan is speaking, but we're probably going to have more of that sound tomorrow. I've been checking through, and a lot of it just doesn't. It's all on the phone, so we'll get the official sound for you tomorrow, or the Drive guys will have it for you. Cam Inman, this is his report of the report from the Niners. 49ers not practicing today. Deebo Samuel with the calf. D. Winters with an ankle. Javon Hargrave, obviously triceps. Trent Williams is sick. He's illness, and limited is George Kittle. By the way, want to give a shout out to one Jawan Jennings, who was named the FedEx Air and Ground Player of the Week. So shout out to him. I mean, who else was it going to be? Here you go. This is the most random one, I think, so far. From the 916, Kings, Giants, Commanders.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like football teams can spread more than, I mean, especially I can speak for that, but I feel like football teams spread more than the other sports. Like baseball especially is like super, super localized.
Yeah.
Regional.
Basketball, regional is the better word. Basketball, I guess, could be regional as well, but there's so many just stray Celtics fans, Lakers fans. Find some Knicks fans out in the wild. Now you'll find Warrior fans out in the wild. Feels like, to have a football team that's out there, to me, and granted, I fit that category, to me, that makes the most sense. Like, that feels the least, wait, how did you end up there? Commanders could be any millions reasons.
Sack chat, too. We got 2 guys in here. A's Kings, both A's Kings, and then for NFL team, Ravens Patriots.
Yeah,
so
it's
like, I think the NFL, I think
so many reasons.
that's
it's
a great
all over
hypothesis.
Yeah, no, that's a good one, Chris. From the 209s, born in Hayward, Raiders fan. I was a Giants fan when I was 10 when the A's moved here. I think that one got chopped up. 209, different 209. Chargers, Kings. A stepmom lived in San Diego, so my father and I would go visit for Chargers Chiefs game because my father was a Chiefs fan. So I wanted to read that one because what about the people that, my brothers were Giants fans, so I'm an A's fan. What about everyone who knows a guy like that?
Oh, yeah.
They're called annoying people. That's what those people are called. Contrarians are annoying.
Here you go. Is this the one that you said?
I think I know somebody who in the family was like, like my entire family was this, and so I decided to go that.
I don't mind it, but we get it.
Yeah, it's a little bit.
I don't know. I feel like I'd rather
especially when you then go for like, my entire family is Kings fans, so that I went Lakers fans. And it's like, if you're going to do the inverse, maybe that's cool, but to say like, no, everybody likes the underdog, but I wanted to just crap on my family and be the fun one.
So they put me up for adoption. option.
What if the team wins and you're the only one as the rest of your family?
Yeah, that's
you know what I don't like about that. You know what? And I'm just now getting here.
Now you're mad.
And now I'm getting mad. You know what I don't like about that?
Tell
Is
me.
because you're fence sitting. I think all those people. If I had 3 or 4 siblings and everybody in your family, let's say everybody in your family, they are Niners fans, okay? And because they're all Niners fans, you're one of those people, and you decide to become a Raiders fan, right? The Niners win the Super Bowl. You love your family in your heart of hearts. You actually are kind of enjoying the Niners win too.
Right.
That's what I don't like about it.
Cop-out.
It's a cop-out.
Yep. It's a way of winning on both sides.
It's a cop-out.
It's pretty weak.
Well, the Niners have to win the Super Bowl, and I don't.
I wanted to use a different team. 916, another one to Chris's theory. Okay, Kings, A's, Broncos.
This is. I don't think
a
it's
lot
a
of you are
theory
very
anymore.
sad.
I
A
think
lot
it's
of you are
lost
very
fact.
sad, and I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm very sorry. From the 916, Alan. Who is your NBA team? That is from Nick. Well, we got to get to the other side. Whitey Gleason is waiting. The Drive Guys. We will talk to Whitey and have some crosstalk. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Domantas Sabonis plays here.
He finds Sabonis, put the frosting on the cake, put the cherry on the sundae. Sabonis with a two-hand clutch makes it 114-106.
Sacktown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Who's ready for some fun on Saturday? Country in the Park 2 takes over Heart Health Park at Cal Expo with Dirk Bentley.
What was I thinking?
Funnily.
I love you just
Sasha.
Did your boots stop?
Plus line dancing and a mechanical bull, axe throwing, pop-up clothing stores, and food trucks. Tickets start as low as $52 at CITPfest.com. Grab your family and join us for Country in the Park 2 this Saturday at Heart Health Park. More at CITPfest.com.
Brought to you by A&A Concrete Supply, Folsom Hotel, and Corval, California Champagne.
I would end the day with sore feet, sore legs. The drugstore inserts that I was purchasing were really not very useful at all. I walked into the Good Feet store and the guy kind of grinned at me and said, I hear that a lot. I was living with chronic pain before going to the Good Feet store. Now I don't really have that problem. I'm able to do the things that I expect to be able to do, even at my advanced stage. I feel pretty good about what's going on.
Come to the Good Feet store now for a free fitting and test walk.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM. Or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
Lowe's knows it's easier to make the right calls when you have the right team. That's why our Lowe's Red Vest associates can help with game time decisions. Plus, use in-store mode on the Lowe's app to find what you need. Under pressure at home and want it soon? Order online by 2 p.m. to get it same day. Same day valid on eligible in-stock items and select zip codes only, subject to driver availability. Fees vary based on purchase. Exclusions and more terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
What's going on? We're talking to Chad Hoblet, Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler Jeep Ram in Woodland. What's happening for Ram Power Days?
Well, 2024 is almost over, so we figured we'd get a head start with big savings on brand new 2025 Ram 1500s. Right now, you can save up to $15,000 off MSRP on the brand new and very nicely updated 2025 Ram 1500s, starting as low as $37,780.
I want to make sure I heard you right. You said 2025, as in next year's models, and you're already giving $15,000 off?
You heard that right. Plus, with all the upgrades Ram has made on the 1500s, this is the best Ram yet.
Test drive the best Ram truck yet at the Hoblet Ram Truck Center. See our whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
15,000 total net savings after 10,500 factory rebates and 4,500 dealer discounts. Rebates include 3,000 in Hoblet Select inventory coupons and 2,000 Hoblet trade-in assistant coupons. Must have qualifying trade-in. At least 5 of this net savings. Coupons only available while supplies last. See dealer for details.
Hi, this is Greg Papa. Disasters hit every day. If your home, business, or building has suffered from any disaster, SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to and letting your focus be on what's most important, your family or your business. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
To make switching to the new Boost Mobile risk-free, we're offering a 30-day money-back guarantee.
So why wouldn't you switch from Verizon or T-Mobile?
Because you have nothing to lose. Boost Mobile is offering a 30-day money-back guarantee.
No, I asked why wouldn't you switch from Verizon or T-Mobile?
Oh.
Wouldn't.
Because you love wasting money as a way to punish yourself because your mother never showed you enough love as a child?
Whoa. Easy there.
Yeah.
Applies to online activations. Requires port in and auto pay. Customers activating in stores may be charged non-refundable activation fees.
Wake up. Breakfast. And Nature-Made vitamins. Whatever your morning sounds like, Nature-Made fits right in. Whether you're looking for vitamin C or a multivitamin to get key nutrients, we've got you covered. Now that's a good morning. We take care of you so you can take on your day. Start your day with Nature-Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
Sacktown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
Joined by Whitey Gleason. Whitey, there was a picture going around of a guy, Dodgers jersey, a bunch of Niners stuff on, so he's Niners Dodgers, and we were trying to figure out why it seems like there are a lot of Dodgers Niners fans out there. And I kind of came to the conclusion of LA teams been in and out.
Yeah.
And people in LA just deciding I'll just be Niners because the Niners aren't going anywhere. Does that sound
Yeah, we
right?
talked to a reporter from LA last week about that. Why, since the Rams have won a Super Bowl more recently than the 49ers, why are there so many more 49er fans? And he said, yeah, that just like there's a lost generation or two where they had no football team. They want to root for somebody.
Right.
So they're still trying to rebuild that.
Yeah. And to be fair, you know, we always say you don't like a bandwagon. So we'd be actually making more fun of LA fans if they did leave the Niner fans to go to the Rams because they did win a Super Bowl. So yeah, I thought that was interesting. A bunch of people coming in with some random answers as far as their fandom in Sacramento. And Chris had a good, kind of shout on why NFL teams seem to be more random than the other teams.
Do you guys know he used to work here and he used to work at other station, though? I don't know if he was there when you were there, Alan. Do you know a guy named Grant Yamasaki, who actually was a really good high school player here?
No.
He's a friend of
I've
mine.
heard the name, yeah.
Yeah, he used to work here. His two favorite teams are the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Random.
Did he specifically pick the most random teams?
He kind of did. He said, yeah, when they were brand new teams, I decided I was going to root for them. And
sounds like a recipe for disaster.
He's a King, you'll see him at Kings games, so he's a Kings fan. But yeah, that to me, that's always the most random. And he's really a fan, though.
Right.
He really roots for both those teams.
If you're in a position where you can pick and choose your team, maybe we'll just say you get one team that you're born with it. There's nothing you can do. If you have a choice of picking at least one other team, but for this exercise, it'd be better for two. Should you try and pick a team that is similar to the team that you already root for, or should you go completely opposite? I will give an example of I root for the Kings. And so when I was picking a soccer team, I intentionally picked who is like the Yankees of soccer so that I don't have to go through everything I went through with the Kings. I wasn't an A's fan because I had just been through this relocation, this terrible ownership with the Kings. Didn't want to double down and get it with the A's too.
Yes.
So which one should you lean towards? Should you try and, like Frankie? Frankie is a Yankees fan, and he's also a Rangers fan for hockey.
Yes.
So those are kind of similar vibe, similar style of building the teams and things like that.
Right.
There's not a right answer, but which way would you guys lean?
But that goes to the geography. That goes to the geography thing because somebody on the chat that was Kings, Raiders, A's. I'm thinking, God bless you.
That's honestly what sparked my thought. I was like, why would you
crazy.
intentionally 3 times say yeah, this is going to be bad. This is going to be bad. And you know what? I already deal with the other two, so this one.
Well, you know, sometimes
you
timing.
don't pick the team. The team picks you in a way.
Exactly.
But think about the timing, though.
Yeah.
You know, look at if that person in the 2000s.
In 1998, that person is like, I'm making a choice for my future.
You got the Gruden. You got the Gruden situation with the Raiders.
Yeah.
You have the Kings doing their thing as well with Weber and everyone.
Yeah.
At that time, they probably thought they got McGuire going. You're
we
probably
had all
thinking.
three of those teams on this station. At that time.
And so you probably
the
thought,
glory days.
Yeah, we're rocking and rolling, and you know they were not rocking and rolling.
No,
for very
like
long.
4 years down the line, and they're like, "This was a terrible."
You know what was
terrible
crazy?
choice.
They showed a graphic during the A's game yesterday, and sometimes you forget it's all the AL West winners, Astros, and you have Rangers. In 2020, Oakland A's.
Oh yeah,
that's right. Yep.
And I think people forget. I mean, that was just 4 years ago.
I know.
And that's
4
the problem
years
with
ago.
the team is they blow it up. 2 years later, that
Yeah.
team is no longer in existence.
4 years
Not
ago.
a single
If
shred of
somebody
it.
were going to pick a team, they were going to choose a team they rooted for, and they asked for my advice, I'd say just make sure it's a team that's owned by somebody who wants to win.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're asking for trouble.
Yeah.
And like we just said, sometimes you don't really choose who you root for. It's like you just get caught up in it, or you inherit it, or
Right.
something, and you root for a team, and they don't always live up to those expectations. But if you're going to pick a team, pick one that's owned by somebody who wants to win.
Yeah,
Definitely a good first step for sure.
As somebody who
Then you get the Matt Ishbias of the world, where it's like, I think you want to win too much. I
Right.
think you're willing to win a
Yes.
little bit too much.
And
You can't just throw money at all your problems.
Chris, somebody that obviously was big on the Monarchs, as a lot of people were in Sacramento, with the Valkyrie coming to the Bay Area. What do you do with that? I mean, what if could you be a fan of the Valkyrie? But if the Monarchs come back, hey, of course I can leave and go back to the Monarchs. I don't know what to do with that.
I'll have to go to a game first to kind of get the vibe of like what the fan base kind of feels like. I'm not entirely sure how it's going to go. I probably will keep my distance at first, and if they, if Paige Beckers or something, I doubt she's going to end up being on the on the Valkyrie. But if there's a player that I really like that's going to be on them, I'll probably lean more towards them. But I'll give them a couple years of figuring it out before I buy any. Well, I'll probably still buy some Valkyrie merch, but before I'm on the bandwagon.
That's a great organization. Nothing
We'll
against them.
see.
It's more
We'll
an
see.
insult from the WNBA.
Yes.
That we're going back to a city that had a team before. Sacramento. No, Portland.
No, Portland.
And we're going to put a team in San Francisco.
And we're going to use Sacramento owners to bring that team to Portland.
Yeah.
Not great.
Rough stuff. But hey, you can't have it all. This isn't, Thanos and all the Infinity Rings. So if you do lose WNBA, Chris, at what cost? At what cost? Major League Baseball and the Pac-12?
I would have much rather had WNBA than Major League Baseball.
Which is a bigger, hotter, more popular, more relevant right now? Your beloved WNBA or your beloved baseball? Right now.
I mean, if we're really going to hyper focus on hotter, then it's the WNBA.
It's no question.
I mean,
It's
their
not even
numbers,
close.
the percentages.
That's why
it's all
Whitey
through
asked the
roof.
question with that stupid smirk.
It's incredible. I can't believe
Yeah.
it. I was thinking about it too.
I
It's like,
cannot believe
there's
it.
no way around it.
But can
It's
you
the
hear me on this,
WNBA.
though?
Yeah.
Nationally, yes. I cannot wait to just see, because maybe I'm blowing it up too much in my head. I just think that first game at Sutter Health, all other drama aside, I just think based on literally the numbers and how compact that thing is, it's going to be a zoo.
Yeah.
And I want to see it. I think it's going to be electric in there. We don't know how long it's going to be. I'll tell you this much. Use the bathroom when you can. Because I think, no, I'm serious. It's going to be hard to do anything in there.
Mm-hmm. Funny how we ended up in the bathroom, but it's probably that's probably good advice.
I'm just saying. I know the WNBA is bigger, but I do think in
the WNBA is bigger, but
it is bigger.
Bathrooms,
but the bathrooms will be full.
Okay.
No, but what I'm saying is Sutter Health will be rocking. I do think it will be rocking.
Did you guys see that? And you might have watched it, especially you, Chris. Caitlin Clark Sunday in a playoff game on an NFL Sunday. That game had more than 1 million viewers.
Yeah, that's amazing to me.
I know,
because I didn't watch that game. I love W. I've loved
That's
watching
the one where she
Caitlin
got
all year.
clawed in the face.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. She got absolutely destroyed. Her, you would have thought that somebody took a 2x4 and hit her in the eye. No, it's absolutely ridiculous. I don't know what's going on with that story. That story is insane. People are trying to take somebody out of the league because she poked somebody in the eye.
Whitey, last question, and then we'll get on out of here.
You better hurry.
No, well, we have time. Don't you worry about it.
Those
deserves
guys on the next show get mad when you get to them.
Who deserves a longer leash?
Nightmare to work with.
Nick Sorensen or Brandon Ayuk?
That's a question.
You
Brandon Ayuk.
Thank you.
Get out of here.
Thank you, Whitey Gleason. I bet. See, that's why you got to get Whitey, because he always wants to agree with Chris, but when he doesn't know what Chris said, I was just lucky you weren't listening. Clearly, you weren't listening earlier. You definitely.
I was listening. I missed that segment.
Good. All right. Whitey Gleason, Kyle Draper, Drive Guys up next with Jay Johnson, of course. Congrats to our winner, Rob Schneider tickets. You'll have more chances tomorrow. Thank you to our callers, texters, Sack Chatters. Nate doing a great job as always. Until tomorrow, it'll be just me tomorrow and Nate, as Chris will be enjoying himself in my city, the town. Until tomorrow. Oh, that's your elevator. You're wearing. Well, you got to wear that. You don't. I don't know if you can wear that shirt tomorrow. No, you can wear that. You can wear the hat though. Until tomorrow, secure the bag like to be.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings